You know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. You can feel it.
Get up on out the bed and start to move your balls. Wake up, word, it's Solomon Jones. Word. You better wake up now.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I'm going to welcome you to another edition of Wake Up with Word. Kawesa, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. You know, a little tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I'm here.
Oh, man. That's a terrible feeling.
It is.
That is a terrible feeling because you're like, oh, no, I got to do it anyway.
Yep.
Oh, my good. Yeah, I feel like that a lot. So I empathize, and it's going to be all right. We're going to get through this.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get through this. Man, did it storm bad in New Jersey last night?
You know, if it did, I slept through it, but I don't think it really was that bad. You know, it was really, what it was for me was the wind. It was very, very windy, and a couple little, like, you know, you heard some thunder, little lightning, little drizzles here and there, but not too bad. But then when on my way in, there were definitely, you know, pockets of like water. So I know we got something, you know, my car was wet, you know, so I know something happened, but you know, it was really just, to me, it was the wind that was really a little crazy. Yeah,
I got up this morning. Vita was like, I don't think you're going to have to water the grass. I was like, okay. That was shade. It was shade. It was. But it's like, okay. Okay, Levita, I won't. And really, since the heat wave has ended, I've been leaving it alone, and it's fine. You know, because it's been like cloudy every day, like it's going to rain, and it's not. It's like, God, like, psych, guys, it's not going to rain. You know, and so yesterday it finally came down, but this afternoon it's going to be fine. It shouldn't be, you know, any rain this afternoon, this evening, and so we are looking forward to our call to action at City Hall at 6 o'clock on the issue of gun violence. As we call out volunteers, man, we are grateful that God decided to hold back the weather, to let the rain come last night so that it can be clear this evening. And you know what else is happening this evening at 7 o'clock. So you can make the call out, and at 7 o'clock, make the Osley Brothers, because they come into the Dell. You know that, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good music right there.
I know. So that's exciting. And it's going to be a great evening here in Philadelphia. And, you know, yesterday the city did what it needed to do on Kensington Avenue. They cleared out the people who were making life a living hell for the taxpayers in that community. Because while we all feel compassion for those that are homeless, what we see in Kensington is not simply a crisis of homelessness, as some of my media colleagues have described it. No, this is a crisis driven mostly by drug addiction and by the irrational thinking that addiction will often bring, ask me how I know. But look, don't take my word for it. Consider the words of Greg Ramsayer, who told the Inquirer he'd been living in a tent on Kensington Avenue since April. Ramsayer told the paper he's been battling addiction for 25 years, and he's been cleared out of encampments before. When police told him that he'd have to move or they'd throw away his tent, he refused, saying, "This is my home." Police eventually did throw away the tent, and Ramsayer was defiant. "We'll get another one," he said. "We'll reset up, and we'll keep doing what we do until I find a way out of this addiction." And that's the problem in Kensington. You have people living on public streets and shooting heroin in front of children, defecating in front of homes, and stopping everyday people from simply feeling safe. That's wrong, and it can't be allowed to continue. The city offered help to those who wanted it, and at least 4 people accepted housing. But if you claim your problem is homelessness and you refuse the home that's offered, the problem may not be homelessness, and you might just have to take it to God. We got a hot show for you today on Wake Up with Word. We'll talk about the R. Kelly trial with attorney Keir Gray, a partner at Montgomery McCracken. Political consultant Jay McCalla breaks down the politics of the mess in Afghanistan and more. Man Up PHL social media director Kenneth Dean joins us to talk about today's call to action on gun violence. And as always, we've got you, our listeners, calling in at 215-634-8065. A toll-free 1-866-361-0900. This on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, or you could hit me personally at Solomon Jones 1. Watch us on Facebook at ForWord. But first, it's the big three, the news stories you need to know to kick off your day right here on Wake Up with Word. Story number one, the long-awaited R. Kelly sex abuse trial began with the story of Jerronda Pace, who told the court that when she first met the singer, she was 16 years old and excited to be in the presence of someone she idolized, but she testified that over the next 6 months, Kelly had sex with her while she was underage and physically and emotionally abused her. After more than 2 decades of accusations, Miss Pace, now 28, was the first of Kelly's accusers to ever testify against the R&B star. The singer, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, used his fame and physical abuse that the once prolific entertainer is accused of commanding for more than 2 decades. According to the New York Times, Pace described being forced to abide by rigid restriction, what she called Rob's rules, whenever she would visit Kelly's home. She was forced to call him daddy, she said, and acknowledge him whenever he entered a room. When she failed to do so, quote, he slapped me and choked me until I passed out, she said, recalling collapsing to the floor of Kelly's Chicago area home. I remember him just putting his hand around my neck. She added, he spit in my face and told me to put my head down in shame before forcing her to perform a sex act on him. The case is about a predator, said Maria Cruz Melendez, an assistant U.S. attorney. That's what she told the jury during an opening statement. Kelly, she said, was a star whose public persona allowed him to use his fame, his popularity, and a network of people at his disposal to target, groom, and exploit young girls, boys, and women for his own sexual gratification. That's what the prosecutor said. His lawyers, however, said his accusers had willingly traveled to see him, knew what they were getting into, and then became spiteful after their relationships turned tense and then sought revenge. Man, what a mess. That trial, a bombshell starting yesterday. And after all these years, this woman, the first one to publicly testify against him. So what do you think?
Listen.
Yeah.
He's guilty. And the reason that he's guilty is because we already have proof of what happened with him and Aaliyah. Like, we already have that proof. He was 27 years old and she was 15.
Yep.
15 years old and he was 27. He is the worst kind of I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care that, we haven't even fully gone through the trial. We have proof of his actions that he's done this before. And so I believe everything that these young ladies are saying. I do.
Yeah. And this is years and years and years of accusations, and it's not like people are coming back 30, 40 years later. This is, no, he did this to me, and people were saying it at the time when it was happening. This is tapes coming out. This is people writing whole books about it. This is, something that is very ugly, and there's a whole lot of evidence that has been piled up against him. Of course, everyone deserves a fair trial. We will see what happens in this R. Kelly case, but does not look good for R. Kelly, and we'll be watching it very carefully. Of course, we'll be talking with Keir Gray about it in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Story number two, the mess in Afghanistan continues with the Taliban stopping some people from going to the airport to leave, Joe Biden sending more troops to get Americans out, and security experts asking one abiding question about the nation America fought in for 20 years: who gets the minerals? That's right, Afghanistan, one of the poorest nations in the world, but guess what? It's sitting on mineral deposits worth nearly $1 trillion that could dramatically transform its economic prospects. Supplies of minerals like iron, copper, and gold are scattered across provinces. There are also rare earth minerals, and perhaps most importantly, what could be one of the world's biggest deposits of lithium. That's an essential component in rechargeable batteries and other technologies vital to tackling the climate crisis. Security challenges, a lack of infrastructure, and severe droughts have prevented the extraction of most valuable minerals in the past. That's unlikely to change under the Taliban. Still, there's interest from countries like China, Pakistan, and India, which may try to engage despite the chaos. Demand for metals like lithium and cobalt, as well as rare earth elements like neodymium, is soaring as countries try to switch to electric cars and other clean technologies to slash carbon emissions. And so Afghanistan, if they have a few years of calm, allowing the development of its mineral resources, could become one of the richest countries in the area within a decade. That's what experts are predicting. So, yeah, it's a lot of money in Afghanistan. You ain't know that. It's just more than just a poppy. Kawesa, what are you thinking?
Yeah, my biggest thing is more so the fact that, you have such, rich deposits of these minerals here, and yet I think I was seeing that, 90% of the country is below the poverty line. Like, that's inexcusable. You should be able to, if there's jobs that are available, the country and its people should be able to profit off of that, and that's not happening. And so, and we're going to continue to keep seeing all of these countries trying to go in. And I really think that one of the reasons we're mainly going in there, a lot of countries, is because they have some of those rich minerals. And so we'll see what happens, but there's no reason to me why the country should be so poor with such, abundance of wealth that's there that could be made.
Yeah, you see that in a lot of poor countries. They discover some kind of element there that they have. Maybe it's oil, maybe it's gas, and the people up top cut deals for themselves, and the people are still poor. You know what I mean? So, we hope that doesn't happen, but God has given us everything that we need on this earth. You know what I mean? Now, the question is, how do we use it? And so we'll see what happens in Afghanistan with all of those minerals that they have. But if they have lithium like that, then, yeah, the world needs it as we try to switch to clean energy so that we all can be here maybe a couple of centuries from now. Which reminds me and brings me to story number 3, my commentary for the day. Back in 2019, when I started Man Up PHL, it was because a child had been shot. Nearly 2 years later, it's happening again. A 15-year-old playing basketball at a playground in Tioga was shot in the head, and all of us should be outraged. We should be angry that more than 100 children under 17 have been shot in Philadelphia this year. We should be mad about the fact that more than a quarter of those children died. In a city where homicide is a way of life for some, we have to carve out another path. We have to make another way. We have to do whatever we can to save our children and our brothers and our uncles and our sons. We have to man up. Because here's the cold hard truth. There is no one solution to the gun violence we see in our streets. Some of it is due to broken homes where children are raising themselves. Some of it is about a lack of education and scant opportunity. Some of it is about people who've been abused because hurt people hurt people. And at the root of much of what we see in our community, there is racism and systems that have long been set up for us to fail. When the school system prepares kids for jobs in fast food, there will be violence. When the banking system refuses to give loans in black communities, there will be violence. When the governing system tells us we can't vote like other people, there will be violence. And that leaves us with a choice. We can put our skills aside and complain, or we can put our skills together and take action. Today, Man Up PHL will take action, and we want you to be a part of it. Join us at City Hall at 6 p.m. to volunteer, to speak up, to reach out, to change lives. You can mentor or do social work. You can provide jobs or education. You can do social media or computer technology. you can be part of the solution. Join Man Up PHL at 6 today at City Hall, and let's stop the gun violence together. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Will you be with us today at 6 p.m. at City Hall? We ain't going to be long. We need to sign people up. We need to get people to work. We need to work on this thing together. All are welcome. Other organizations, whoever wants to come out. It is about action today. It is about doing something today. It is about replenishing our pool of people who actually see what's happening and want to play a part in being the solution to that. Because all of us have something to give. All of us have something to do. All of us have some part in solving the problems that are happening in our own community. We are the people that we've been waiting for. Ain't nobody else coming in to save us. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. We are going to make our voices heard today at City Hall, and then we're going to get to work. We got work for y'all to do. We got young men who are coming in through the Listening to the Streets program. We are giving them stipends. We are giving them mentoring. We are giving them advice. We are giving them jobs. We are helping them to move forward in their lives, and then we're not letting go. I want you to be a part of that. There's nothing more gratifying, man, than looking and seeing the light come on in a young man's eyes and looking and seeing a young man say, you know what, I can do something different. You know what, yeah, I can be more than this. You know what, yeah, I am a leader. I am a father. I am a son. I can be a husband. I can be better than what I've been so far. Somebody has got to show them the way. It might be you. We need your help. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. At 6 p.m. today, we are going to take action at City Hall. We will be in the courtyard raising our voices and signing up and getting to work. We are looking forward to that. We're also talking about the R. Kelly trial. What do you think? This has been a long time coming. R. Kelly on trial in New York. It is the feds, and they are accusing him of not only sexual abuse but also racketeering. His lawyers say, no, that's not what it was. It's just angry women. I want to know what you think. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. R. Kelly, guilty or innocent? What do you think? 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WURD. We'll be right back.
At the Honda Summer Sales Event, one summer adventure leads to another. Start with a new Honda and be on your way to desert treks, lakeside getaways, and mountain paths so remote you need an actual map. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda Accord and 0% APR on the 2021 HR-V or Pilot.
See dealer for financing details.
Jefferson Health offers no-cost COVID-19 testing sites at St. Raymond of Pinafort Church. Testing is on Thursdays and Saturdays. The second testing location has been added at Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School. Testing is on Wednesdays and Fridays. For testing hours and more information, visit jeffersonhealth.org/community testing.
I watch sports highlights.
I read the paper.
I go compras online.
I've been listening to this crime podcast.
I check Twitter, text.
I read or I sketch.
Look out the window and wave.
No matter how you pass the time,
SEPTA is the sensible way to go.
Write with us at iseptaphilly.com.
I'm Bill Hite, Superintendent of the School District of Philadelphia. I'm excited to tell you that we will ring the bell on our first day of school on Tuesday, August 31st. Full day, in-person learning, 5 days a week. We've been preparing for a healthy and safe return to our schools. Learn more about our efforts at philasd.org/ringthebell. That's philasd.org/ringthebell. See you on August 31st.
Enterprise Exterminators, located at 4943 Wayne Avenue, has been in business since 1976 and can eliminate whatever pest problems you have. Enterprise specializes in bed bugs, lanternflies, and termites. Call for your free termite inspection today. Do-it-yourself kits are available. Enterprise Exterminators, servicing Philadelphia, Delaware, and New Jersey. Call now, 215-849-7070. Ask us about the WURD and senior discounts.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Looking at the delays, we have Schuylkill westbound City out to Belmont, again Gladwin to Conshohocken eastbound side. You're going to find that jamming between 202 and the Conshohocken curve. Disabled tractor trailer is the reason affecting that right lane. Cruise out there, but a big jam eastbound 76 as a result. Southbound 95 jam Cotman through Bridge. Again, Betsy Ross through Girard. Northbound looks good. Westbound Vine Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway are slow. 55 northbound a jam from Deptford in the 42. Get a king bed for a queen price of Mattress Firm. Save up to $500 during the best Labor Day sale ever on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I'm going to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD, and I want to remind you to join WURD Radio on Thursday, August 26th for our annual Founders Day celebration honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax, Jr., MD. This year, we'll feature a special live broadcast from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at a street naming ceremony for Dr. Lomax at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center. The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. And there's a special Founders Day membership discount. Join or renew today for just $80 and help us continue Dr. Lomax's legacy by supporting progressive Black Talk media. For more information, go to wordradio.com and click on the Founders Day banner. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday, August 26th. So we're taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And so the long-awaited R. Kelly sex abuse trial began with the story of Jerronda Pace. She told the court that when she first met the singer, she was 16 and excited to be in his presence, but she testified that over the next 6 months, Kelly had sex with her while she was underage and physically and emotionally abused her. Story number 2, the mess in Afghanistan continues with the Taliban stopping some people from going to the airport to leave, Joe Biden sending more troops to get Americans out, and security experts asking one abiding question: who gets the minerals? That's right, Afghanistan sitting on nearly $1 trillion worth of valuable minerals, lithium deposits, cobalt, other deposits that would be needed for electric cars and other clean sources of energy. China, Pakistan, India already sniffing around, trying to figure out how they can get in and get to some of that stuff. Afghanistan could make a lot of money if they could just be stable for a couple of years. And with the Taliban in charge, the question is that possible? Story number 3, back in 2019, when I started Man Up PHL, it was because a child had been shot. Nearly 2 years later, it's happening again. A 15-year-old girl playing basketball at a playground in Tioga was shot, and all of us should be outraged. We should be angry that more than 100 children under 17 have been shot in Philadelphia this year. We should be mad about the fact that more than a quarter of those children have died. And so we have a choice. We can put our skills aside and complain, or we can put our skills together and take action. Today, Man Up PHL, take an action. We want you to be a part of it. You can join us at City Hall at 6 p.m. to volunteer, to speak up, to reach out, to change lives. You can mentor. You could do social work. You could provide jobs. You could provide education. You could make donations. You can do social media or computer technology. You can be part of the solution. So we want you to join us today. We're going to be there 6 p.m. at City Hall in the courtyard. We're going to stop this gun violence together. I want to hear from you. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. What do you think about the R. Kelly trial? Do you think that that this time R. Kelly's going to jail? Because remember, they tried him before. R. Kelly found not guilty, and now they are trying him again some years later. This is federal. This is not a minor thing. They are looking at getting him on not only the sex abuse, but also racketeering. And so I want to know what you think. You give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Jacob from Alney is on line one. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, peace be unto you, Brother Solomon. Look, God willing, we say in Islam, inshallah, I'll be on through there.
There you go.
God willing, and the creek don't rise, as they say. But you know what, on the R. Kelly thing, since you just got done mentioning that, I pray that he get the help for his illness, you know what I mean? And he could start with our own Dr. I-Joy to talk to him, Iana Pansan, who Black Talk Radio here in Philadelphia got to start. And because he got a sickness, and he ain't the only one that got it, and that's the thing about it. So it's a shame because, the brother had some good music, and I got to give the devil his credit. Let's keep it real now. Devil got to get his credit. Devil is a bad, hush your mouth, but we're talking about the devil. But look, R. Kelly has some good music. I remember the inspirational music that the little kids had at their preschool graduations. I Believe I Can Fly and stuff like that. Let's not forget the good that he had. He got a weakness. He got an illness. And, you treat sick people. We got a lot of sick people in this. Look at the leaders. My God. Which brings me to the evil that, you just talked about, the spices. The stuff that Afghanistan has, the minerals. Africa, man. Look at what they did to Africa. The people, and it's got to be some of the leadership of these people.
That's what it is.
Areas, man. Come on. The people never prosper from in other words, these evil people steal their inheritance.
Right?
And look, we got to stop it. Now, don't we? If we see the trick, Solomon, my God, aren't our eyes open today? Shouldn't it be a new world order? Thank you. Peace.
I hear you, man. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Afghanistan, Kwesa, sitting on $1 trillion worth of valuable minerals, lithium, cobalt, gold, earth minerals, just all kinds of stuff. And, you got other countries now sniffing around like, all right, how we going to get in there and get that stuff out? We'll split the money with you, but we got to get that stuff out so we can make this money. It's deep. You never really thought of Afghanistan in that way, but really, when I read this story, what I found is that the Soviet Union found some of those deposits and knew that some of that stuff was there when they invaded Afghanistan. The United States knew about 11 years ago in 2010 when some of our scientists figured out that there were all of these mineral deposits in Afghanistan. It's just not a place that's really ever been at peace in recent years. You wouldn't think that all that stuff was there.
Yeah, you really wouldn't, but when and I hate to even, be like this, but when, Western culture gets a hold of, even a little bit of money They're like, ooh, is that green? They're sniffing it out, you know. Like, they get a hold of that, and, you know, they will latch on and do everything that they possibly can to make sure that they essentially rape that country, that land, of all of its natural resources. And then when they do things like that, not only are they taking advantage of the land, but they also take advantage of the people who live there. And primarily, they are usually always black and brown people.
Yep. Yes, they are. And that's, you know, and unfortunately, and I hate to be this way, but unfortunately, I can see that happening in Afghanistan. You know, the Taliban is, you know, I mean, right now they religious fundamentalists, you know what I mean? But what happens when you get a sniff of that money? You know what I'm saying? What happens then? And, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But normally what will happen is, you know, another country will come in, you know, and they'll come in with their businesses and they will make deals with the leadership, and the leadership never allows the money to get down to the people. That's what happens over and over and over again. You know, there's no way in the world everybody in Nigeria shouldn't be rich. Country got oil. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, you look at this happening over and over and over again. And with so much, I mean, abject poverty in Afghanistan, you know, I don't see it going differently this time. I hope I'm wrong. But they're going to come in. They're going to make deals with the leadership. The leadership's going to get rich, and the people ain't going to see nothing. That's what happens over and over and over again. I want to hear from you. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. Zaire from South Philly's on line 2. Go ahead, Zaire.
Good morning, Solomon. Good morning to the audience.
Good morning.
It's good to hear this conversation and this platform that you have in the morning.
Thank
I'd like to make the 4 comments on the 3 main issues that you're talking about. Number 1, R. Kelly. They say R. Kelly was abused as a child, so he never was able to get help from that pain. And now the Fed's going after him, and they're gonna pinch him, and he's gonna get some hard time. That's what I believe, because he's successful, and he's an image for the black community that they want to slander and scatter and smear it like they did Bill Cosby. So Bill Cosby, my second comment in your second issue with Afghanistanians, some people are sitting on wealth, but you know who's going to go in there and dig it out? The Europeans and the Asians, the Chinese. And they're going to take their country over through economics, like you said. And the money's never going to get to the poor people because they're going to keep them in the religious place, because that's all they know. But those big wigs, they're going to bring them people in, and they're going to dig that out, and that country's going to be new. But the people at the bottom are still going to be religious fundamentalists, because that's what they do. And now to you and your great work in Philadelphia, I salute you. And I do believe we can change this. We can't look to the politician. We can't look to the police. We got to look to one another, because it's our children. Somebody killed that young lady, shot her in the head playing basketball. Who does that?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you don't have to agree with this, Solomon, but I'm telling you, I was driving through South Philly in a prominently Caucasian neighborhood, and I've seen these young boys between the ages of 17 and 25 dressed up like African Americans. And I said, those could be the same young guys that's going in our neighborhoods at night and doing shootings.
You saw some young men in a white neighborhood dressed up like African American.
Dressed up like African American youth.
When?
This was about 6 months ago. They had the white smudge on, the black smudge on their face. They had, afro wig. And I told my wife, I said, see them? They could be the ones that's going around. But this thing is so egregious. Every day a black child being shot or killed.
Yeah, I hear you, Zaire. I hear you, man. And I don't know. I really think because one of the things that I've learned in talking to our young men is that there is a culture, man, of gun violence in our community that frankly is deeply ingrained, and you can't blame other people for it. It's us. And some of our young people glorify violence through their music, through their lifestyle, and through some of the things that they think and believe. And, that's just real. And I know we want to believe that it's somebody else and, somebody else is doing it and somebody else is coming in and all of that. And, somebody else is bringing a gun. Somebody else is manufacturing the gun. Somebody else is creating that atmosphere. But it ain't somebody else pulling the trigger, man. I think it's us. And that's just based on my real honest conversations with our young people, man. And, we got to handle that. We got to handle that, and if there is something else that is coming alongside that, if there's somebody else who's coming in doing something else, then we got to handle that. But first we have to face the truth of the fact that it's us killing us. That's number one. And then we got to handle it. We have to handle it. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show right here on WURD.
Geico presents Motorcycle Word of the Day. Today's word is tank slapper. Is a tank slapper used to describe a handlebar wobble? Or is it a motorcycle joke that is so funny you just have to slap the gas tank with your hand as you laugh? As in...
Oh man, Daryl told me a great joke last night. It was hilarious. It was something about a dog wearing sunglasses. I wish I could remember. It was a real tank slapper.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
If you've got an insurance question, you could talk to your Nana, but she'd probably just tell you how she insured her couch from stains by covering it with plastic. Or you could talk to your local Geico agent. They'll give you a different kind of warm and fuzzy, with personalized assistance for all your insurance needs, like how you could be saving on your policies. So let your Nana cover her couch in plastic, and let a local Geico agent help cover you, but not in plastic. To find a Geico agent near you, visit geico.com/local.
In Philly, COVID-19 vaccines are safe, free, and effective. It protects you from contracting the COVID-19 virus. Vaccines do not change your DNA or contain microchips. Caribbean people are not immune to the deadly virus without COVID-19 vaccine shots, and it does not affect your immigration status. Join us for our back-to-school COVID-19 vaccination resource fair on Saturday, August 21st from 11 to 3 p.m. at Sturgis Recreation Center in Allegheny. Free food, school supplies, and vaccines. Visit www.caribbeancommunityinphiladelphia.com, Facebook or Instagram page.
Build skills needed for employment through the Philadelphia Skills Forward Initiative, a free upskilling program for workers displaced by the pandemic, those whose jobs are at risk for automation, and Black and brown workers. Complete courses focused on digital literacy, career management, and professional skills for a successful career. Get started today at chamberphl.com.
Word Founders Day. Don't miss our annual Founders Day live broadcast and celebration, Thursday, August 26th, honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, featuring a very special broadcast of a ceremonial street naming for Dr. Lomax from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center. Hosted by Charles Ellison. The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. Start or renew your Forward membership ship on Founders Day at the special discounted rate of just $80. For more information about WURD Founders Day, visit wordradio.com. WURD Radio Founders Day is brought to you by Pico, Keystone First, Bank of America, Ready Set Philly, Comcast, Brown's Family ShopRite, Temple University, and Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, 2nd District. Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Busy ride, Schuylkill Expressway, westbound City after Belmont. Again, heavy Gladwood out through Conshohocken, eastbound side, Montgomery through Girard. A bit of a slow ride, but before that, you're jammed up from 202 through the Conshohocken curve. That earlier disabled tractor trailer has been cleared. Line Expressway, westbound Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway are slow. Southbound 95, a jam. Cobman right down through Girard. Northbound looks good. 55 north, a jam there from Deptford into 42 this morning. Get a king bed for a queen price at Mattress Firm. Save up to $500 during the best Labor Day sale ever on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
You're waking up
with WURD.
Hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD, and we're taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio and let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. 215-634-8065 is the number. And you can also weigh in on Facebook at ForWord at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. And let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. FORWURD is how you weigh in on Facebook. Kuwait, so what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we do have a few comments here. I'm just trying to pull them up. All right, here we go. Tom Bryant says, good morning, Awesome Word family, Koesa and Solomon Jones. God bless. I'm praying for the family of the young girl. We also have Beatrice Sims saying, good morning, Brother Solomon and Queen Koesa and Word family. So good morning right back to you. Walter Davis and Candace B. Bradley, thanks so much for checking us out this morning. Jesse Lanham says, good morning, Solomon and Koesa. I myself don't really understand how can Trump tell what he's done to women and nothing was done about it. Like the man just said, R. Kelly in some music, I just can't understand why men have to do this stuff. So that's his comment. Sherry Vaughn says good morning to us. Gail Robinson, good morning to you. Rebecca Truxon and Ayatunde Garrett, thanks so much for checking us out this morning. Valerie Susan Wells McLeod says, good morning, Word family. Enjoy this day. It only comes around once. Thank you, God, for another day. And then Gail Robinson says, yes, Koesa, that happened to Haiti over centuries ago by the French, when the people rose up and overthrew the French government and were made to pay for their own independence. To this day, unheard of. The same countries, England, France, Russia, U.S., even Spain, they carved up Palestine and the continent of Africa. They brought chaos to all of these countries. Yes, definitely accurate and correct there with what Gail was saying. And then we also had a few other people checking us out this morning: Tony Freeman, Antoinette Bevins Pickens, Raphael Suleiman, and also Deborah Dorr Carter. Thanks so much for checking us out. And also Casa Who, thanks for checking us out this morning as well. I think that Casa Who was saying, what did he say? Art is a sick puppy, mental hospital or prison. If you're referring to R. Kelly, I would say he can seek therapy while he's in prison, but that's just me. So yep, those are our comments that we have right now on our Facebook page. Solomon. So yes, those are our comments. I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on here with the audio connection.
No,
But
let's go.
you're-
I'm here. Okay. Let's go to Zubir from West Philly online too. Go ahead, Zubir.
How you doing? Good morning, Solomon.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to make a comment on the gun violence topic.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw a different perspective or a different spin on it. I know a few years ago, I don't know if the brother's still active or not, but it was a brother in the city that was doing like gun education. So, like you said, I agree with you wholeheartedly when you said when you, through your experience and through your organization, you're talking to young men, and it's deeply embedded into our culture, or the young people culture. And even myself, I'm 41, and I remember growing up young and doing different things and thinking a certain way and something like that. And I mean, part of it was immaturity and stuff like that, but a large part of it was, just that was in the air. That was the environment, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so maybe another part of it, I know the violence part, we don't like it. It's ugly. A lot of it is nonsense and can be avoided with some education and some options in different directions. But also, if that is our energy, if that's our young people's energy, and that's, is big in our culture, then maybe we could put a spin on it and kind of direct it in another way. Okay, if these guys are looking at guns in this certain way, and a gun is a tool, you know what I'm saying? And if it's used properly with proper education and so forth, it can be effective. So also put that spin on it, not necessarily say, okay, just throw all the guns away. When them guys came down there at City Hall and they was acting goofy earlier this year, a gun could have, thank God it didn't go there, but if it went there, a gun could have been a tool we had in our toolbox if we was, established like that and so forth, and been effective in protecting our people and so forth and so on. So I'm just saying.
When what guys came down City Hall? You talking about when the white supremacists came down there marching?
Exactly. And if it would have went left,
so you think somebody should have shot him?
No, I ain't saying that.
Oh, okay.
I ain't saying somebody should have shot him. I'm saying if it would have went left, we know the history of these people and what they have done before, and they ain't got no problem putting one of us down. So I'm saying if we direct that energy, direct that, that type of thinking with proper education and saying, okay, if you're going to do this, if this is something that, our young people, we see heavily, a good portion of our young people, this is what they're into. With the proper education, it can be effective if we're doing it right. Not we're just shooting each other at a basketball court or whatever, or you're just shooting down.
Okay, so what is it that you want to redirect them to do?
No, so what I'm saying is a couple years ago was a brother in the city that was teaching like gun education, how to use it safely, how to do it properly. He was a guy in the city, so I was just saying like that could be another aspect in your organization. Not just to say, okay, put the gun down and I'm going to give you a job. Put the gun down and I'm going to talk to you tonight. Also say, okay, if that's what you want to do, it's a route. It's a license to carry. It's a, you can use it to protect your family, so forth. It is a route to go about doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD. That's not where they at, right? I'm just telling you, that's not where they at. We've had several of our young men come in and say, look, I want to be a rapper. All right, well, let me hear your music. And the music glorifies killing each other, right? The music glorifies vengeance, right? And that's the other thing, is that we are caught up in this cycle of vengeance where, okay, you take one of mine, I'm going to take two of yours. You know, that's what we're caught up in right now. And, you know, when you actually talk to the people who are in it, right? You know, I'm not talking about us, you know, theorizing about what needs to be done. When you talk to the people who are in it, they like, all right, well, if they take one of mine, what am I supposed to do? You know, what is my choice? Right? They feel like they have no choice, and they feel like it's hopeless to stop it. And so, you know, when you are up against that kind of mindset, it ain't no, okay, well, let me show you how to use the gun properly. You know, they've already decided how they're going to use the gun. And it's to kill each other. And the question is, what are we going to do about it? That really is the question. You know, what alternatives are we going to put in place? You know, what path are we going to carve out for them? Now, it's some people that just ain't going to stop, and, you know, they can just go have to go to jail or face whatever consequence there is for what they're doing. I'm clear on that. But, you know, for those who could go in another direction, you have to give an alternative, man. You have to. You have to. And you have to know that, guess what? When these kinds of things become a lifestyle, it's not going to change overnight. I know we want it to. I know we think we got some magic wand that we're going to come in and everything just going to. No, it's not. It takes commitment. It takes time. It takes resources. It takes people. It takes teamwork. It takes prayer. Like, it takes all of that. Now, some people think it takes the National Guard. I don't happen to agree with that. I think that we have faced bad consequences when we have asked for white people with guns to come into our community. We have always faced terrible outcomes from that. But, you know, I know that there's a desperation. I know that there is a frustration. And I respect some of the people who are saying it. I just don't agree with it. We should never, right, ask for the Army, because that's basically what that is, to come into our community. You know, I'm not there. I think it's a bad idea. I think that, you know, and I understand the frustration, I understand the hurt, I understand the pain, I understand the anger, but let's play this out. Suppose you do bring in the National Guard. Okay, somebody starts shooting. Okay, what is the National Guard going to do? Are they going to start shooting? And so now you have a shooting war in our community between the National Guard and our people. Is that what we want? Because that's the only thing that could come out of that. What else are they going to do? What, the National Guard going to put down their guns and run and tackle the shooters? What is the National Guard going to do? Are they going to shoot at us with tanks? Are they going to overwhelm us with their force? Like, what are they going to do? Or are the shooters just going to stop because the National Guard is there? No, they're not. They're not going to stop. People pulling up in ShopRite parking lot, man, shooting people in their cars. You know, we have family in Logan, right? Somebody shot somebody in the head in the Northeast, put them in a car, drove them to Logan in a street behind my relative's house, right? Set the car on fire and drove off. Right? We're at a point where 15-year-old girls are getting shot. You think they care that somebody is standing there? They're going to figure out how to do it. And so, you know, for me, we got to think some of these things through, man. We have never faced a good outcome when we have asked for any kind of extra military presence in our community. But, you know, there were those who think that way, and you know, we'll have an opportunity to talk about it. We'll give them an opportunity to talk about it. I'm just not with it. I just think it's a really, really bad idea. We're going to go to break. And on the other side of this break, we are going to continue the show. Actually, we got a couple of minutes. So if you want to call in, give us a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. 634-8065. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to talk with Keir Bradford Gray about what's going on with the R. Kelly case. She is going to join us in just a couple of minutes on the other side of this break. I am Solomon Jones. This is WURD. We'll be right back.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, vapes, or electronic cigarettes to anyone under 21. Stores can get fined up to $1,000 for selling tobacco to someone who is underage. Know the law. Check IDs. Post your retailer license. Make sure only employees have access to tobacco products, and only sell tobacco products to customers aged 21 and older. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Wayne Avenue Health Food, located at 5007 Wayne Avenue, has been in business for 29 years. Wayne Avenue Health Food is a one-stop shop for all of your quality vitamins, herbs, and information with exceptional, friendly, experienced service. Wayne Avenue Health Food is open 7 days a week and delivers in the Philadelphia area and ships all over the country. For more information, call 267-338-6488.
Oak Street Health Strawberry Mansion is hosting a Seniors Day Carnival at 2301 North 29th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19132 on Saturday, August 21st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy music, games, food, and prizes as we celebrate our teams and the reopening of our Centers for Community Activities and Events. Oak Street Health is a network of primary care doctors for adults on Medicare, and we welcome all community members to join in on the fun and check out our center. Food and prizes limited to $15 per person.
Stand with WURD Radio.
The only black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania.
Did you know you can join the 4WURD movement and amplify voices of the black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit membership at wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you. Show your support. Start or renew your 4WURD membership today. Lifting every voice
till earth and heaven ring.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Black Talk Media.
Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Busy ride, Schuylkill Expressway, westbound City out to Belmont. Again, a heavy Gladwin out through Conshohocken, eastbound side, Montgomery through Girard. A bit of a slow ride, but before that, you're jammed up from 202 through the Conshohocken curve. That earlier disabled tractor trailer has been cleared. Line Expressway, westbound Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway are slow. Southbound 95, jam Cobman right down through Girard. Northbound looks good. 55 north jam there from Deptford into 42 this morning. Get a king bed for a queen price at Mattress Firm. Save up to $500 during the best Labor Day sale ever on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. And we've been talking this morning about the R. Kelly case. R. Kelly, of course, accused of some heinous things in sexual abuse of young women, and it has been many years coming. He is now on trial. And here to break down the case for us is Keir Bradford Gray. She is a partner at Montgomery, McCracken, Walker, and Rhodes, LLP. Keir, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Interesting show this morning. Interesting show. A lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, of course, R. Kelly at the top of the list. what is he charged with in this case, which is federal and happening in Brooklyn?
Yeah, so actually R. Kelly is being charged in 2 federal courts at the same time, and the Brooklyn case is going forth before the federal case in the Northern District of Illinois. So in the Eastern District of New York, he's being charged actually with RICO charges, and RICO is racketeering influenced corrupt organization. That is a charge that would really allow for R. Kelly, if convicted, to spend decades, if not lifetime, in jail upon conviction. And so the RICO Act really is charging R. Kelly with creating an enterprise that was engaged in a pattern of activity of sexual exploitation of children, coercing and transporting them, women and girls, to engage in illegal sexual activity, kidnapping them, forcing them into labor, abusing them, assaulting them, starvation, and then videotaping their sexual activities for production, which, of course, is child pornography. So R. Kelly faces a number of charges with respect to the decades of activity that he was doing with these young girls. And I have to say that what I think sparked a lot of this is that documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. Yeah. Although the Me Too movement has been on the rise, that documentary showed up front and center what these young girls and who these young girls were. They put faces to these young girls that caught a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting thing is that R. Kelly tried before. They tried him before, but they found him not guilty. Nobody, none of these young women had testified against him before. How could they have gone all these years without getting any testimony from any of these women who have alleged these things about R. Kelly?
So in 2008, they were looking at one particular victim, and that was one girl that was in the video that was produced and that was alleged to be a minor. That young girl's mom, from what it was told, that R. Kelly used his financial influence to pay them off not to testify. So that victim did not testify, and the prosecution was forced to try to figure out her age based on what she looked like on video. That was a very tough case to try with no victim to testify. Since then, I mean, that was 2008. Fast forward, we have all the Me Too movement, and then we had the documentary, who actually finally got these young women together and their mothers to really talk about the circumstances under which they were facing when they were with R. Kelly. And I think that a lot of mothers felt a lot of guilt and remorse because they willingly let these girls go with him. And I think that really stopped a lot of people from coming forward. But during the Me Too movement, when people started to talk to people about the manipulation and the psychological just damage that it was caused, people began to speak out, and prosecutors began to interview these witnesses who then agreed to testify. In the Eastern District of New York, in that federal trial, they have 5 witnesses that will be testifying against R. Kelly. They will also be using people who are part of his organization or were part of his organization, such as, some of his entourage, some of his bodyguards, all of those folks who I'm sure they offered deals in exchange for their testimony that they had lured and went to kind of find these young girls, brought them to where R. Kelly was, and paid them off and put them in hotels. All of these different things that it's going to be hard for R. Kelly to escape this one.
Yeah, and I guess that's where the RICO thing comes in, and it's interesting because RICO is something that's usually used with like the mob, with organized crime, and so are they saying that the people around R. Kelly, that they made up the organization that they're talking about in this RICO charge?
Well, they're saying R. Kelly is the leader of this organization because he pretty much had no tolerance for anyone who didn't give him straight loyalty. He was providing for everyone financially, and if they did not follow his demands, which was going to kind of find these young girls and bring them to them, then they would be cut off financially. He did not tolerate any dissent or anyone who did not go with his wishes. And so, RICO Act really is the act of kind of acquiring a business through illegal activity, operating a business with illegally derived income or using a business to commit certain illegal acts. And so they're saying while his entourage, bodyguards, and promoters were promoting R. Kelly and R. Kelly's brand, they were also promoting R. Kelly's brand to young, impressionable girls with an intent to lure them to be a part of whatever R. Kelly wanted, which was having different young girls for sexual pleasure.
Mm-hmm. We're talking with Keir Bradford Gray about the case of R. Kelly. She's a partner at Montgomery McCracken here in Philadelphia. And the other thing that they're talking about is racketeering. So how is it racketeering, and what is the basis of that charge?
Yeah, so racketeering is part of the RICO Act. RICO is racketeering, influence, corrupt organizations. So the racketeering is any illegal activity. So in this case, the racketeering would be the sexual exploitation of children, the sexual assault, the sexual abuse, whatever those things are where children were brought to him all throughout the United States, including New York, Connecticut, Illinois, and California. And wherever he had sex with underage minors, filmed it, abused them, whatever he kidnapped them by locking them in rooms for days, according to their affidavits, that is all a part of the racketeering, which then creates the larger organization by which R. Kelly was in, because it was a promotion of the R. Kelly brand and all of that comes with R. Kelly as being an entertainer. So his business that helped bring these girls to him is a part of the organization in which the racketeering took place.
Got it. And so the other thing that they're charging him with, and I found this interesting and kind of ironic, is the Mann Act. The Mann Act created some years ago and used against Jack Johnson. What is the Mann Act?
So the Mann Act strictly prohibits transportation to engage in illegal sexual activity. So it's just wherever you find a girl. So if there was a girl in the mall, which they said one girl was in the mall in Connecticut, and one of his entourage went to the girl and talked to him about joining R. Kelly on his tour in New York and Illinois, that woman traveled with R. Kelly to engage in illegal sexual activity because she was not of age. So if R. Kelly had sex with her in any of those states that they traveled to, which she was underage, therefore that is the Mann Act.
Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the defense, because so you've got videotapes, you've got multiple women within the time frame where they could still file charges. It's not like this is 40, 50 years ago. This is now. You've got all of this evidence kind of piled up against R. Kelly. What kind of defense is his team of attorneys looking at?
Well, it seemed like his defense has always said that these girls are disgruntled because either they feel remorse because it's now been, open and people know that these things have happened because of all the publicity, or they didn't get paid by him the way they would have liked to. That has kind of been their mantra, and they've been talking about that a lot. So in terms of fighting the direct allegations, they're going to have to go after each of the girls with a motive to lie. You're lying because you are upset or disgruntled about with R. Kelly for X reasons. The fact that he was molested as a child is really not a defense to this. That's more of a mitigation point at sentencing if he's found guilty. But the only thing they can really attack these young girls with is that they're lying for some nefarious reason. But they're going to have a hard time with that because it's not just the women who are going to be testifying against R. Kelly. It is also the bodyguards, the drivers, the people that were promoters. Some of those people are also going to be used to testify about what they were asked to do by R. Kelly and what they in fact did in bringing these young girls to him. And what they knew, because some of them were there when some of the sexual intercourse parties were being taken place, and some of them were actually the videographers of those actions. So, this is a tough one for the defense. I understand that someone like R. Kelly has no choice but to try to fight it because you plead guilty, you're gone for forever. You get found guilty, you're gone forever. So he really is, without no pun intended, between the rock and hard place at this time. Just because of the nature of everything.
So in terms of the kind of time that he is facing, what are the penalties and what is the maximum amount of time that R. Kelly is facing on these charges?
Well, he has been charged with at least, and I believe I read it, at least 11 different counts of RICO, so racketeering act. So each racketeering act can carry a maximum of 20 years, but some can actually be a lifetime sentence depending upon the underlying predicate offense, if that is something that carries life. So rape of young children, starvation, kidnapping, those predicate crimes could have a life sentence attached to them. Most of it is where murder is involved, where the life sentence would be attached to it. But, I mean, R. Kelly's looking at decades in jail with just the RICO Act being a maximum of 20 years.
We're talking with Keira Bradford Gray. She's a partner at Montgomery McCracken. We're talking about the case against R. Kelly, and I'm wondering if there are other cases that we can look at that are similar to this one that would give us some idea of what the outcome of this case might be.
I don't know. I have not heard, and I'm sure there are cases that are similar to this one that are not as grandiose as R. Kelly, but this particular one is, it's when you read the affidavits, when you read the allegations, I've watched the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, which was very hard to watch.
Yeah.
This is pretty bad. It's almost as bad as one it gets for someone to be accused, and yeah, they've got a lot of evidence. They're even going to be able to use some of it uncharged evidence. So all of his acts with Aaliyah, when Aaliyah was 15 years old, it was alleged that she got pregnant. And R. Kelly bribed an official in Illinois to give her a fake ID so that they could get married because he knew that, a spouse could not testify against him. So those things the prosecutors are going to be able to bring in. Other uncharged acts of him having sex with young boys, a 17-year-old as well as a minor, that are going to come in and that the prosecutor intends to produce. This is not just about the girls. This is about all of what R. Kelly has been engaged in and involved in. And, I'm a defense attorney, and so I never really look at something and say, hey, this is just it, without getting more information from the other side. But I'll tell you, this is really as bad as it gets in terms of being accused with all of the information, all of the evidence that they would have against him.
All right. That's Keira Bradford Gray. She's a partner at Montgomery McCracken. She joined us this morning to talk about the case against R. Kelly. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us. We appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
All right, you too. So we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio and let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD and let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning show. Not only was there a documentary, not only were there videotapes, but there was a reporter out of Chicago who did extensive work for years. His name is Jim DeRogatis. And I mean, man, I read most of his book. It's called Soulless on R. Kelly. Just really detailed information about these young women who accused R. Kelly of all manner of things, and it's going to be hard for him to defend himself against all of this evidence. So, of course, people weighing in on Facebook at ForWord, at FORWURD. That is FORWURD. I want to know what you think, so let us know. You can do that on Facebook at FORWURD. Kuwaisa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a few comments that we have here. Walter Davis says, the R. Kelly story is truly one of the worst fall from grace and stardom. What a loss and downfall of true talent for Robert Kelly. So that's his comment. And Erica says, will the people who helped him go to jail also? Yeah, I hope so. And then she also says, isn't this double jeopardy? Who benefits while Kelly is in jail? I hope that, you know, the young people that he hurt will benefit from knowing that there is some type of justice with him going to jail. That's my hope. Ed Minner says, RICO charges are the nuclear bomb in the prosecutor's arsenal of charges. Candace B. Bradley, sad. R. Kelly, wasted talent. And we also have Fred Douglas saying, good morning, family, safe travels, and God bless. Dara, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Harmon Drummond says, good morning. And we also have here, looks like Walter Davis is saying that melee in Afghanistan reminds me somewhat of insurrection in the mess on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. So that's his comment as well. And it looks like those are our comments so far right now on Facebook. Yeah.
All right. So whole lot, man, going on with this R. Kelly case, and we will be following it throughout the trial and looking for your comments because we want to know what you think about all of this, man. It is a mess, and we're going to be talking about it right here on WURD. Of course, also talking a little politics this morning. Jay McCalla is going to join us on the other side of this break. Whole lot going on this week politically with Joe Biden and the administration deciding to pull out of Afghanistan, the chaos that has ensued from there, what's happening in southern states with governors who refuse mask mandates for schools. Kids are dying. There's a whole lot to talk about politically. And on the other side of the break, Jay McCalla is going to join us to talk about that. I am Solomon Jones. This is WURD Radio. We'll be right back.
Pack a picnic and enjoy a thrilling concert of live opera followed by a colorful fireworks display when Opera Philadelphia presents an evening of vocal fireworks at the Man. Opera stars Lawrence Brownlee and Michael Spires come together for a friendly sing-off of opera favorites and a few surprises. Tickets start at just $25 and parking is free. Opera Philadelphia at the Man for one night only. Thursday, August 26th. Buy tickets at operaphila.org.
SEPTA takes me where I want to be, so we don't need a second car.
It's an easy ride from home to the hospital.
It's my little break of the day.
Because I just love SEPTA.
To make the most of your money and time.
SEPTA's the simple way to go.
Plan your trip at iseptaphilly.com.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Join WURD for the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour. This year, we celebrate West Oak Lane, Mantua, North, West, and South Philly. I'm Tiffany Bacon. I'll broadcast live from a different neighborhood each Friday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Our next and final stop is West Oak Lane at the West Oak Lane Senior Center, 7210 Oakons Avenue. Win concert tickets, meet special guests, and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify the voice of the Black community. Come show your support and join or renew your WURD membership on site. That's the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour at the West Oak Lane Senior Center from 10 a.m. until 12 noon on Friday, August 20th. WURD, showing love this summer.
The WURD Radio Neighborhood Love Tour is sponsored by Comcast and supported by Pico, Keystone First, and Ready Set Philly. Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
This report sponsored by Indeed.com. I-95 southbound at Jam Right Cobbin right down through Girard. Northbound looks pretty good. Westbound Vine Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway are slow. Schuylkill eastbound heavy 202 through the Conshohocken curve. Earlier disabled track. The trailer is gone. Westbound busy city out to Belmont again from Gladwood out through Conshohocken. Southbound Boulevard Route 1 delays there still from Broad to Wissahickon through construction. 42 northbound delays. 41 at 55. 295 55 northbound rather different into 42 bit heavy. Take the shortcut to your next grade higher when you sponsor a job on Indeed. Instant Match immediately delivers a list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit. For more traffic information, log on to SIGAlert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM,
and 900 AM WURD.
He cried, his voice quivered. Nobody repents better than a politician who's been caught. I think basically they're just annoyed that they didn't say it first. I sat down on the train. Next thing I know, I'm standing here in the lobby of the Trump Plaza.
How did I get here?
I don't know. Clearly there was an endorsement that was going to happen that day.
And now, Jay McCallum, only on Wake Up with Word.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I'm going to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. We are, of course, talking with Jay McCallum. He held senior positions in both the Rendell and Street administrations. A veteran political consultant, McCallum's work has been published in the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philadelphia Magazine, and the Chestnut Hill Local. He brings deep knowledge to politics and does so from an African-American perspective. Jay, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Solomon. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to a good day, as always.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if Joe Biden is, man. He had a debacle this week with the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. Of course, pulling troops out, and close advisors had told him that there were big risks to doing that. What do you think the chaos in Afghanistan means for Biden and Democrats politically, Jay?
It can mean an awful lot. It really could. Unless Biden spends more time on TV telling the American people what's going on and really telling us what's going on, he may have a lingering political problem. Right now, TV is full of guys and gals saying and hollering about a lack of preparation, lack of planning on the part of the Biden administration. That seems to be the mantra right now. And that may just stick unless he really shows that things will be okay, and that means the safe evacuation of all Americans, all NATO allies, all the Afghans who are on our payroll, and the international media. So he's got to make sure that the American people understand that that's his target for evacuation. Plenty of Americans are demanding that we evacuate every single Tom, Dick, and Harry who wants to leave the country, and I think that's crazy. There are just about 40 million Afghan citizens, and probably a quarter of them would leave if they could. He can't possibly fly out 10 million people from that country, and Biden has to say so. He's got to lower expectations. If he doesn't, then he may be portrayed as a failure, because if everybody's thinking he needs to get everybody out and he doesn't get everybody out, then that's going to be a black mark against him. So he's got to lower expectations. And already his problems are mounting because you've got a bunch of extreme right-wingers in America, and they're opposing the relocation of any Afghan citizens to the United States soil, even the ones who helped us. So he's got a growing immigration issue in the middle of all of this. And politically speaking, he needs to he needs to blame somebody for the suddenness of Afghanistan's collapse, because we clearly didn't expect it. And, you know, the president caused the collapse of the government by grabbing up his flunkies and a couple of baskets of money and leaving the country by surprise. You know, blame him. The Afghan army, 300,000 strong, they didn't lift a finger to stop the 65,000 Taliban soldiers. They outnumbered the Taliban almost 4-1. And, you know, they didn't fight one lick. So blame them. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And Biden needs to push back the deadline for departure so he can get everybody out. Whatever it complicates, push back the deadline, because in the end, he's got to be able to say, everybody we wanted to get out, we got out. We've got to haul 150,000 people or so. But if only one gets left behind, the media is going to find that one guy, and the next week he's going to be on 60 Minutes crying and blaming Biden. So Uncle Joe has to place some blame and clean up his act. And if he doesn't, there's going to be some repercussions in the 2022 midterm elections next year. Solomon, Biden needs to remember that almost anything can cause the loss of Congress to the Republicans, and he's got to sharpen up. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think that, you know, hindsight is 20/20. One of the things that absolutely should have happened is that expectations should have been lowered up front, right? That we're going to pull out of Afghanistan, and this is what's going to happen. And you know, you say, you know, you give the bare minimum of good things that can happen, and then if you get a little bit more than that, then wow, you did great. You lower expectations up front. Don't wait until, you know what I mean, the back end and lower expectations. But again, hindsight is 20/20. He's going to have to do it now. But, you know, what I'm hoping is that they are talking with the Taliban now about how to get these people out, because now the Taliban is stopping people from going to the airport because they're like, okay, we can't let everybody leave, right? And that could be a disaster too. So they need to be like talking with them to negotiate getting everybody out who wants to get out. They need to be doing that right now. But I think you're right, Jay. We need to hear more from Joe Biden. I thought it was great that he gave that initial address and saying, look, you know, we set them up so that they could defend themselves. They didn't, you know, and you know, this is what happened. But I always promise to be straight with you. I'm going to be straight with you. Like, I appreciated that, but you're right. We need to hear from him more about this, because if he doesn't, then other people get to define what this is, and he can't let that happen.
I think you're 1,000,000% correct on that. I mean, if you turn on any news show, if it's cable or if it's a broadcast network, the lead story is always this war, and it takes up 10, 15 minutes if it's a broadcast network, the first 10 minutes, and if it's cable, they may take up the first 30 minutes. So he may need to do a Monday morning briefing every week until we're out of there, and then once we're out of there, say, I told you so, I told you this would work, and that's what he needs to do, nurse the country through this.
Yep, absolutely. And the other thing is this, Jay, we were spending $300 million a day in Afghanistan for 20 years, right? So, you know, now that we're not spending that, and, you know, we are spending a significant amount because he had to send some troops back. But, you know, now that we're not, he needs to be telling the American people, here's what we are going to do with this money domestically. Here's what we're going to do with this money to help America. Here's what we're going to do with this money that we wasted for 20 years in Afghanistan. We are now going to make sure that this money is used to take care of you. I mean, I think people would love to hear that as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a fantastic idea, because then you'll have Americans overlooking the shortfalls and saying and rooting for the last soldier to come out. You know, right. I can't wait to get what they called under as a result of us coming back from a lot of places of war, they called it the peace dividend. And so, yeah, tell them that there's a peace dividend coming. Yeah, then we'll be looking forward to it. Then we'll be rooting for Mr. Biden. And, yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. But we've got some stuff happening domestically, especially with COVID. A little black girl in Mississippi died after Governor Tate Reeves refused to put a mask mandate in place this year, despite having done so last year. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has COVID now after refusing to mandate masks in schools. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is presiding over the state that's at the center of this virus, while promising to take money from schools that violate his ban against mask mandates. What's going on with GOP governors and their response to COVID, Jay?
You know, it seems to me that the GOP governors have become the leaders of a huge death cult. You know, I think back to Reverend Jim Jones. Why would he lead his followers to Africa only to murder them in the jungle? I don't know. But the same thing is happening here under Republican governors. There's a deadly virus that's raging in these red states. Alabama has run out of ICU beds, and it's spreading fast. And these perverse governors won't let schools protect their children. I mean, he's threatening to cut off the money, as you mentioned. So they've gone to war with anybody who wants to protect kids, employees, and customers. They've just gone to war. A mask is almost perfect. It blocks transmission of the disease, and it's dirt cheap. So this is deep. It's almost as if these Republican governors have a pact with Satan. Everything they do is causing death, and more death. This goes far beyond politics. This is not just right-wingers, in my belief. They're pushing their own right-wing voters into their graves. They know it, and they don't care. That's more than politics. We're talking about some seriously defective human beings who govern these states. There's a darkness there, and I don't understand it. Solomon, if this were a proper country, their Bahutnis would be impeached and tried as mass murderers, because that's the effect of what they're doing. What they're doing is callous, it's reckless, and the result is a big pile of dead bodies on their watch as a result of the decisions they've made knowingly. These people are dying like wildfire.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's hard to really fathom, like, what is it that you are trying to get from this? But, I just think they are playing to the lowest common denominator. And the older I get, the more I realize that's what some politicians do in order to be successful. They play to the lowest common denominator. Oh, you think that somebody's impinging on your freedom by telling you to wear a mask? Bet. I'm going to agree with you because I know that there are a lot of you, and I don't care if it's wrong. I don't care if, it doesn't make sense. I don't care if people are dying from it. I'm going to agree with you and fight for you to continue to be wrong. And that's what's going on, man. And people are dying. You had a little black girl, man, die in Mississippi because she was going to a school that for the first few days made masks optional. A whole bunch of people in the school, students, teachers, test positive for COVID, and then the school puts a mask mandate in place. The governor's going around talking about, well, COVID in kids under 12 is nothing more than the sniffles. This little girl died the day after he said that. Like, this is what's going on. And it's bizarre. It is bizarre. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I think that legal charge would be reckless indifference. And that's what they're pursuing. And I think it also shows they've got nothing else to offer their voters. They could become popular if they talked about, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going to better educate your kids so they can compete in this world and earn a good salary and raise a nice family. He could make that his mantra, but he chooses not to. He could talk about how he's going to raise the minimum wage and provide workplace protections for people who have to work in factories, who have to work in farms. But that's not in him. These guys have nothing to offer their voters. I wish I could go, maybe I could go on YouTube and take a look at some of their old TV commercials and see just what they said to get elected. But they've been revealed as empty buckets that if they weren't empty buckets, the only thing they carry right now is poison. And so I just wish, instead of them talking in front of crowds that are cheering them, that these crowds would start throwing rotten apples at them, throwing rotten tomatoes at them, because they are the enemy. They are literally, as Trump used to say, the enemy of the people.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, because this is where, COVID is spreading. We know now that the Delta variant is more transmissible, that in some cases it's more deadly. Some of what I read concerning the Delta variant after the little girl died in Mississippi, she was black, by the way. After that is that in children, the Delta variant shows up as a more severe case of COVID, and that we had more children hospitalized over the last weekend with COVID than we had at any point, because the Delta variant is just different from what it was originally, man. That's what viruses do. They change and they adapt so that they can continue to spread. And that is what's happening, man. So we'll see, what the result of that is in these southern states. But, Ron DeSantis, particularly, in Florida, is in a state where you have a lot of vulnerable people, man. You have a lot of older people who've gone to Florida to retire. And you've got a whole industry out of Florida, the cruise industry, that, wants to put these vaccine mandates in place. He's fighting to keep them from doing that. And so he's doing something that Republicans typically try not to do. He's hurting business.
Oh, yeah. And I wonder, when this virus first hit us 18, 19, 20 months ago, it was emphasized that black folks were getting the worst of it. That we're the most vulnerable, we're the most prone to get this virus. And I wonder if that is what set the table in these guys' minds from then till now, that, hey, this is something that only affects or largely affects or mostly affects minorities. So, I can get up here and do my thing and wiggle my behind and really flaunt all this good medical advice and laugh at it in its face, because, hey, it's not us getting it, it's them getting it. And I wonder if that is to any degree in the back of the minds of these governors, because something explains this. And it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we're going to talk more about it on the other side of the break with Jay McCalla. Right now, I want to remind you to join WURD Radio on Thursday, August 26th, for our annual Founders Day celebration, honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax, Jr., MD. This year, we'll feature a special live broadcast from 11 to 1 at a street naming ceremony for Dr. Lomax at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center. The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. And there's a special Founders Day membership discount. Join or renew today for just $80 and help us continue Dr. Lomax's legacy by supporting progressive Black Talk media. For more information, go to wordradio.com and click on the Founders Day banner. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday, August 26th. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Jefferson Health offers no-cost COVID-19 testing sites at St. Raymond of Pinafort Church. Testing is on Thursdays and Saturdays. A second testing location has been added at Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School. Testing is on Wednesdays and Fridays. For testing hours and more information, visit jeffersonhealth.org/community testing. Hope Partnership Middle School offers a quality, subsidized independent school education to students and families in North Philadelphia. Located at 2601 North 11th Street, Hope offers small class sizes, personalized learning, a research-based curriculum, dedicated teachers, and a graduate support program, which supports students through high school graduation. They are currently accepting applications for 5th to 7th grade students for September. For more information, please contact them at info@hope-partnership.org.
The Black Words Book Club. WURD Radio's conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. The Black Words book for September is Race Against Time, The Politics of a Darkening America by Keith Boykin. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Words. Don't miss it. Tuesday, September 14th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for Word members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color. It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on Word Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Want to remind you that the world is inching back to normalcy, but our approach to educating our children may never be the same. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, has nearly 20 years of experience providing a flexible, stable online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Here are the benefits for your children and your family. 1. World-class education and accredited lesson plans streamed directly into your home at no cost to you. 2. Laptops, headphones, and high-speed internet access, all provided at no cost to you. 3. A learning environment completely free from classroom risks like bullying and other distractions. CCA has been in our community long before this health crisis and will continue to faithfully serve students and families well into the future. Join the more than 2,500 students from Philly who already attend CCA. Enroll now at ccaeducate.me. So we're back with Jay McCalla, and we're talking politics this week. A whole lot, of course, going on internationally and nationally. But I want to talk about a couple of things that are happening locally here in the city of Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia, Jay, covered up the Christopher Columbus statue with plans to remove it after supporters of the statue attacked protesters during the George Floyd uprising last summer. Now a judge has ordered the city to keep the statue there, and lawyers for statue supporters want it uncovered. Are these statues political symbols, Jay? What do you think?
Well, you know, statues can be used as a political or racial rallying point by folks who want to do evil and they just need an excuse. I'm sure the Columbus statue had become a symbol of ethnic pride, and that pride was manipulated by some into racist attacks. And apparently that's exactly what the mayor rightly believed when he ordered the statue covered up and promised to get rid of it. But as usual, Kenny dropped the ball. Just as with the Rizzo statue, the Columbus statue could have come down in one day, but it didn't. And so it remains as a possible flashpoint for future racist mob action. You've got a lot of white progressives who believe that Christopher Columbus was a murderous racist who killed Native Americans without hesitation and without conscience. So as long as it's there, it's going to spark some hot passions. And that's not what a public statue is supposed to be. A public statue is supposed to be a rallying point for civic pride. Yeah, you throw a bone to this ethnic group and that ethnic group, but you never choose a symbol that can inflame ugly passions. That's just backwards. Imagine how controversial a statue of Donald Trump would be, you know? So that's the power that a statue can have. So for these reasons, Mayor Kenny should have followed through on ditching this thing. He should have followed through quickly. But it remains, and I don't know why a judge should care or should get involved. The city owns that statue. We paid to have it built. And so we should have the right to do with it as we please. But Kenny drug his feet, allowed time for a judge to get involved, and that's the upshot. We're going to be kept with this very controversial symbol. Solomon, times have changed. And we now know that Christopher Columbus was not a good man. He was an explorer, but just being an explorer doesn't make you good. It's how you treat the people where you land. And apparently he was a pretty rough customer. Taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for such a twisted symbol, my friend.
Yeah, and that's where we are, with this with this statue, man. And the statue becoming really a flashpoint for these pitched battles in the streets. And one of the things that happened that I think we tend to forget is that you had a captain in the 1st District from the police department who was kind of siding with those who were there armed with bats and golf clubs, and some of them had guns, talking about they are guarding the statue. And he was transferred as a result of his inaction in stopping them from attacking people who were there protesting against this statue. And so the politics of it is there because the judge who ruled in this whole thing, Paula Patrick, she's a Republican. George Bucchetto, the guy who's representing the people who want the statue, he's a Republican. In fact, tried to get the Republican nomination for mayor back in 1999. And so, all of this stuff, has like these political underpinnings to it, Jay.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that ranking officer in the police department who was joining the mob to defend this stupid statue, I experienced something similar to that, and with the Rizzo statue. I was out for the day with the candidate for Philadelphia elective office, and we stopped to take photos of that candidate with the Rizzo statue. Within 5 minutes, we were surrounded by about a dozen cops who wanted to know what we were doing, blah, blah, blah. And so these things do become ugly symbols. And once you detect that it inspires any kind of ugliness, get rid of it. It's bad. It's wrong for the city. The Octavius Cato statue only inspires. We're not that kind of folk. If somebody tore down the Octavius Cato statue tonight, we would not go out looking for some other ethnic group to beat up. We wouldn't use it as a means of violence or an excuse for violence. We're different people. I think we're good people. We're righteous people. And so we want to be uplifted. I think the average Philadelphian wants to be uplifted. And the Columbus statue, the proof is in the pudding. We see it now. It is not an uplifting statue. It doesn't do anything for the fabric of our city. And who knows when the next riot, the next racial attack is going to happen, and the ruffians, the lawbreakers are going to imply somehow that their ethnic pride was at stake. And that's just too weak an argument. But the city still needs to find a way.
The National Weather Service has issued a flood warning for the following Pennsylvania counties: Montgomery and Philadelphia. Effective until 10:50 a.m., the National Weather Service in Mount Holly has issued a flood warning for small stream in south-central Montgomery County, in southeastern Pennsylvania, west-central Philadelphia County, in southeastern Pennsylvania, until 10:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 8:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the Wissahickon Creek at Wissahickon is approaching flood stage. Flooding is expected to begin shortly. For Wissahickon Creek at Wissahickon, at 8 a.m. the stage was 4.99 feet. Flood stage is 5 feet. This includes the following streams and drainages: Schuylkill and Lower Delaware. Precautionary/preparedness actions: turnaround, Don T. Drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles.
Don't have either. And years ago, Kenny was pushing to clean up the area, but he quickly gave up because he wasn't willing to spend the money to properly house these folks. they've cleared these camps before, and even though they're clearing these 2 camps in Kensington, there are maybe 6, 7, or as many as 10 other outdoor homeless encampments that don't get as much attention. But here's the deal. Rich housing developers are making millions in parts of Kensington, so the pressure to sweep these folks as if they were dirt is going to continue. As long as folks are making money, these guys threaten their wealth by making what they build less attractive. So the city is poised to spend millions to redesign the Ben Franklin Parkway and maybe millions more to cover I-95 at Penn's Landing. And we've got a police force that spends $750 million every year. Solomon, we've got the money to house these people. We've got it. You can go on Amazon.com right now and find little houses that they'll sell that are about the size of a studio apartment. We need to. There are tons of solutions. There's this thing called tiny houses that we could build. But unless these people vote or donate to campaigns, the powers that be, and it's not just Kenny, it's going to be his successor. It was his predecessor. They're going to be treated like trash, and that's just a stench in the nostrils of God.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to this. I think when you go to Kensington and actually see what's happening there, it's a lot. And I think at the core of it, at the root of it, is the drug use in Kensington. You got a lot of people who are living there. Living on Kensington Avenue, man, that's like you're living on a commercial strip in a tent, right? In neighborhoods where people, they can't walk now. They can't take their kids to the avenue. They can't feel safe there because you got people who are not just homeless, but people who are on drugs, on heroin, shooting dope, defecating on the sidewalk, breaking into cars, breaking into businesses, breaking into houses, all the stuff that comes with drugs. So, anywhere where you have that kind of drug use, you have prostitution, you have theft, you have burglary, you have violence. Like all of that stuff comes with it. And I think that in order to address what's happening in Kensington, I think it takes more than offering housing, because they went and offered housing to the people, and some of them was like, no, I'm good because I want to stay out here and continue to use dope. Like that's kind of where they are, man. And it's going to take more than just housing to handle what's happening in Kensington, because housing for the vast majority of the people who are there is not the root issue. The root issue is they are unfortunately and sadly strung out on heroin. And so you got to figure out that old heroin thing. If you're going to solve this thing permanently, you are going to have to solve the drug problem that is driving what's happening in Kensington.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly, nobody in their right mind would be on the street. Nobody on their right mind would put up with those circumstances. They need to be near their dealers who know where to go. Any drug dealer knows where there's 50, 60, 70 willing, waiting, and ready customers right away. And so we've got to do something about addiction. We can't just move them into housing, and I agree with you on that. So we've got to make a sincere effort to get these people and give them 2, 3, maybe 4 shots at getting clean. 4 shots at rehabilitation, if that's what it requires. Everybody who knows that smoking a cigarette is very hard to kick. The old joke is, I can do it anytime I want. I know so because I've done it a million times. And so we have to understand addiction and realize that it's not a one-and-done solution. Here's your week in rehab, and when you come out, you're a new man or a new woman. We know it can't be that, and it just isn't that. So we have to provide for these folks to have multiple opportunities, because if they don't want to kick it, if they don't have that desire, they're just going to come out after a week of not having used drugs, and their habit is a little less expensive to maintain. But it's going to go back up again, and we're going to go back to the crime again. So the city's got an office. They've got a deputy managing director who's over all of this. But the results are nil. The city isn't putting its money where it says its heart is, and that is saving people. Housing, clean them up, and find a way. You and I talked about this before. Get them jobs. You know, once they're cleaned up and once they understand that life isn't over for them, then they're going to need a little money in their pocket. They're going to need a job. We got tons of dirty streets in this city. We got trash the city finds themselves unable or unwilling to collect. You know, harness this human power that right now we're leaving in a trash bin. Harness them, put them in some kind of job, have them work for one of these special services districts that's not civil service, of course, so you can easily hire them and supervise them. And our solutions aren't expensive. Yeah. We got a police department, again, that's spending $750 million a year, and they're only arresting 1 out of every 10 shooters on the street. Only 1 out of 10 murders result in an arrest. So they could use with a trim of that budget. They've got too much money for what they're producing. The money is there. That's the thing. The money is there, Solomon.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, that is Jay McCalla. Jay McCalla is a veteran political consultant. He held senior positions in both the Rendell and Street administrations. His work has been published in the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philadelphia Magazine, and the Chestnut Hill Local. He brings deep knowledge to politics and does so from an African-American perspective. Jay, as always, thanks so much.
It's an honor, Solomon.
All right, so we are going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to talk about what's trending, and then it's right back to your calls. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Whatever the world brings, we're always moving forward. Reinventing business, reimagining home, and reemphasizing community. At PICO, we're redefining support, finding new ways to provide financial assistance, supporting opportunities for good jobs, and uplifting our communities. We're by your side through it all, because whatever the future holds, you're ready to take it on, and we're ready to power it. Find the support you need at pico.com.
As a father, I've done everything I can to protect my children. For my family, getting the COVID vaccine is about protecting the whole family now and in the future. That's why I'm making sure my children get the COVID vaccine and protect their health. For me, it's one less health risk to worry about. You have the power to finish this.
Visit pa.gov/COVID for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Join me, Solomon Jones, Man Up PHL, and WURD Radio on Thursday, August 19th at City Hall to take action against gun violence, mentor young men, help with social media or social work, do community outreach, or recruit for our paid mentoring program, Listening to the Streets. That's Thursday, August 19th, 6 p.m. at City Hall's courtyard. Man up to stop gun violence. For more information, go to wordradio.com.
So, what's the asking price on this house?
You'd probably be more comfortable living somewhere else.
How long a lease is the landlord looking for?
Well, I'm sure you can afford to live here, but...
What are the schools like in this district?
Yeah, we have twins in the 5th grade.
This neighborhood isn't really for your kids. You know what I mean?
If you're black, Latino, Asian American, or Middle Eastern, and a real estate agent or rental agent says anything like this, you know what it means. You're being discriminated against. Housing discrimination because of race, color, or national origin is against the law. If you believe you've experienced housing discrimination, contact HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. That's HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A message from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Stand with WURD Radio,
the only black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania.
Did you know you can join the 4WURD movement and amplify voices of the black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit membership at wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you. Show your support. Start or renew your 4WURD membership today. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app.
Or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. WURD Radio. Independent Black Media. You're waking up
with WURD.
Hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Circuits are busy.
Here's what's trending.
Yo, that's crazy.
On Wake Up with WURD.
Actor Joshua Jackson recently blasted what he called racist and misogynist comments about his actress wife Jodie Turner-Smith proposing to him. Turner-Smith, known for her role in the movie Queen and Slim, did propose, but there was more to the story. He said the way people got in her comments and the ignorance and ugliness that comes her way is truly shocking, and it has been a necessary but unpleasant education in just the way people relate to black bodies in general, but black female bodies in specific. It is not okay. We have a long way to go.
And rapper Drake was one of the millions of people who contracted COVID-19 in the last year, and he's still dealing with some lingering side effects. The 34-year-old rapper revealed that he had the virus and it led to hair loss, which is finally improving now. Drake shared the news on a fan's Instagram post where they had made fun of his hairline. Temporary hair loss is a fairly common side effect of COVID-19, and a recent study found that around 33% of patients surveyed noticed it as a symptom.
And Silk Sonic, aka the dynamic duo consisting of Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, has already blessed our ears with 2 singles off of their latest album, An Evening with Silk Sonic. Unfortunately, fans who have been anticipating the release of the album are going to have to wait until January of next year. Mars explained that they want more time to put out singles, letting each one breathe before giving fans the full project. He also said, I don't want to be binge-watched. We've got the bones of most of the album, so it's really about touching up parts that need a little more grease. And that is what's trending.
All right, that's what's trending right here on WURD Radio. We want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. That's 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in. You can also weigh in on Facebook at forward at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. That is where you can let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning show. Okay, so Kawesa, what's this thing with Joshua Jackson and his wife? What happened?
So basically, and if anyone's familiar with, so I know Joshua Jackson from Mighty Ducks. I grew up watching him, but he also was, on Dawson's Creek, and he was also on another show, but I didn't watch it. But yeah, so he's pretty well known in other communities, and so his wife was in Queen and Slim, and basically what happened was there was a story a while back, maybe a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about the process of them getting married and things like that, and he said that she proposed to him. And, he accepted. And people were, one, you had a lot of black folks who were like, oh, no, like, why didn't you just, man up and propose to her? And then you have, a lot of, white folks who were trying to say, like, oh, she's this and that and the third, like, just, calling her all types of out her names and everything. And he had to explain, like, okay, that was only part of the story. He said, he accepted, but, basically with the with the mindset that he was going to basically ask her parents for her hand and then properly get down on one knee and propose to her. And so, you know, it was just this whole big back and forth. And I think that it really was an eye-opening experience for him, understanding what it means to navigate as a black person in this country, but also as a black woman in this country. So he came to his wife's defense. They have a newborn, or I think maybe the baby's 1 now at this point. But, you know, so they're rocking and rolling. But, yeah, he came to her defense because these folks were out here just, you know, calling her all types of names and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of the gist of
but you skipped the big part. He's white.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
he's white and the wife is black. And so we got to frame it. We got to frame it in that, because that's where, so they're getting it from both sides.
Yes. There you go. That's I'm sorry. I apologize.
No.
I said other communities. I wasn't clear.
Yeah, he's white dude. So he's getting it from both sides, and she is too. And so that's a big part of it. But man, oh man. So and Drake, his hairline. So they're making fun of his hairline.
Yeah, they were. He had like a little heart shape on his head, right? And like, you know, then he showed a picture of that, and then he showed another picture where like the heart was looking a little rough, you know, and so somebody on Instagram was like, yo, the heart is stressed, man, what's going on? And he was like, you know, basically, like, leave me alone. I was, you know, dealing with some things. But yeah, I didn't know. So I just keep learning more and more stuff like every day. I did not know that hair loss was a symptom. I'm just like finding that out, well, yesterday when I saw the story.
Yeah, I didn't notice my hair loss when I had COVID. Because my hair was already gone. So, man, oh man. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, but it's a lot of, and apparently it affects different people in different ways.
Yeah, that's crazy. Another actress, Alyssa Milano, said that she, you know, lost her hair too. I was like, what?
Wow.
Like, I didn't know. I honestly did not know. And the fact that what I think it was said, you know, 30% of folks deal, I was like, wow. You know, so, I mean, it's a blessing that was not something that, you know, I had to go through, but I just keep learning stuff, new stuff every day.
Yeah, it's a lot. So we want to hear from you. You can certainly give us a call at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. And looks like Rita from South Philly's on the line. Go ahead, Rita.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
You know, I sympathize with those Americans that is trapped in Afghanistan. And the reason why I take that personal, we have a loved one over there. We don't know where he is. All we know, he's on a ship. That's all we know.
You got a loved one that's over there in Afghanistan?
Yes.
On a ship in Afghanistan?
No, they near there. They on a ship. They don't tell you
on
where
a ship
going.
near Afghanistan.
So, yeah.
Oh, he's in the Navy or something. In the military?
Military, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
so if they're in a ship, then they not trapped. They can leave, but they're near there.
See, we don't
okay,
know,
I see.
We don't know nothing till it happens. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know. But let me say this. Another reason why I take this person, I told you that when the house caught on fire, our mother left us trapped in the house. She went to save herself, and we had to get out on our own. Then we had to go back. But we couldn't find our disabled sister. We was able to get her out. And there was a white fireman that took us and rescued us from that house. Now, if he hated black people, he would let us in there. And there was nothing we can do. Sometimes before you open up your mouth, you need to think. Everybody don't hate you. If that was true, I wouldn't be here to ignore you, Solomon. You know what I'm saying? But here's another thing. You always evacuate your citizens before the military. Nobody that stupid. That's just like here. If something happened here, they try to get you out before the enemy comes in. And another reason why I take this personally, I told you I was walking down the street, and one of them Arabic men got out the car and was trying to snatch me in the car.
And tried to do what to you?
Tried to snatch me, kidnap me off the street daylight.
When did this happen, Rita?
That happened about 14 years ago.
About 14 years ago.
Yeah, I had children. I used to volunteer crossing the street. Their mothers and stuff was walking by, heard me screaming, and they came running. He was pulling me, and it happened twice. I was on Armingo Avenue. They have it on tape. The man jumped out Arabic again and tried to pull me in the car.
Why would this Arabic man 14 years ago come and try to pull you into the car, Rita?
Every time.
Why did they pick you?
I have no idea. See, those people are like cavemen. They see something, they like just cavemen. Take you. And
don't you think that's a little? Don't you think that's a little
hard?
Presumptuous to say that that Arabic people are like cavemen?
No, not all Arabic. Those two were. But let me say this here. You know what I think about Solomon? How many other women that's missing in Philadelphia today? How many more? You don't know. Let me say this here. What somebody went and tried to snatch you into a car 14 years ago, and they were Arabic people, and you don't know why they picked you. They just picked you out of the blue, and we're gonna snatch Rita today. Right. Now let me say this here. There's a guy whose father worked for a post office. He died, but his son is still here. I'm gonna ask him to give you a call because he was one of the ones that come running when I was screaming. I was screaming and crying, and I told him, I said he was trying to pull me into his car. And see, nobody knows when this happens every day to somebody. You know how many people, women, well, remember R. Kelly? He was sex trafficking women and children. You know what I did when I found out what he did? I took all his records and threw them out. I don't want to hear anybody that does that to people. I threw it in the trash because what he did was wrong.
Okay.
And then somebody said to me he couldn't read. I said this man could pay for tutors to come to him and teach him how to read. You know what I'm saying? Now he was wrong for what he's paying for it now, and then he'll pay for it when he gets to the Creator. But where are those women? You don't know.
All right, Rita. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WRD. You just got stories for days. I just never know what's real and what's not. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD. We certainly appreciate it and thank you. Let's go to Brother Hurt from North Philly on line 2. Go ahead, Brother Hurt.
Simon, just made my day, man. I love Miss Rita, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, listen to her, man. You go right to the bar, man. But I love her to life. She cracks me up. I love that lady, man. And but going forward, man, these rap songs, man, they're just out of pocket. It's like the lyrics need to be changed. Like Will Smith and his rap music is just excellent. There's no violence, no killing. It's about how you raise your family. How you going to just something positive, man. It's like, like Tupac is my man, but I don't follow his, the things he be saying and stuff. I mean, just going forward. So we need some positive rap songs out there, man. Just stay healthy today, and God bless you and your family, man. Everybody stay strong.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Kwesa, I don't know that I could take much more, so we're going to go to Facebook and see what folks are saying there at onWURD, at FORWURD. That's FORWRD. Love Brother Hurt. Thank you so much. And Rita, of course, showing up, and we appreciate her as well. 215-634-8065 is the number. But let's check out what people are saying this morning on Facebook.
So Veronica Smith says, good morning, Word family. Blessings to all. Solomon and Kwesa. So grateful to be giving God glory and tuning into Word, while laying on the beach in Ocean City. Ooh, have fun. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Michelle Tillanil, she has the crying, laughing face emojis here. Solomon's hair loss, talking about from what we were speaking about earlier with Drake. And then Walter Davis says, check out Brother Solomon doing stand-up better than Dave Chappelle and Damon Wayans, as our great radio host jiving us on how he did not notice his hair loss and he once had COVID. Yo. We also have Harold Spriddle checking us out. Phyllis Williams says the Kensington Strip is terrible and so sad. Intense, doing drugs in the open, needles everywhere, urinating, prostitution. Been going on for so long. How can this be called the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection when they continue to ignore and don't lend a helping hand? Decided to help them now, but where are they going? And so that's her comment. Landis Rowe says here, Solomon, you help make Rita's stories even funnier with your questions. Hilarious. Bernadette Jerry White says, Rita got a story for every subject.
Everything.
And then Michelle Tulanil says, Rita, and then, the laughing face emojis here. And then also we have here as well, I'm trying to pull everything up here. Michelle Tulanil says, I totally agree, Solomon and Rita cracked me up. And then Phyllis Williams says, couldn't catch what my friend Rita was saying. And then shout out to Diane Hamilton Mitchell. Tell Sugar Lady we said hey. And those are our comments on Facebook.
All right, so those are the comments on Facebook this morning, and we certainly appreciate them, and we appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to get in, it's 215-634-8065. Let's go to Friendly Fred from Philly on line 3. Go ahead, Friendly Fred.
What's happening, Sam? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
All right, I just tuned in. I just want to say, it's the things you want most are the things you got to earn, and don't let money fool you because you need jobs for this and jobs for that, and it's going to come back around to the sad, sad truth. But the best is yet to come, a world of love and a life of joy, and we'll be eternally happy, free, and glad, and do a righteous will. Thank you.
Thanks, Friendly Fred. We appreciate your call this morning as well. 215-634-8065, of course, is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD, 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio, and let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about. But I do want to remind you to join WURD for the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour this weekend. We celebrate West Oak Lane, Mantua, North Philly, West Philly, South Philly. Tiffany Bacon will be broadcasting live from a different neighborhood each Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Our next stop is West Oak Lane at the West Oak Lane Senior Center at 7210 Ogons Avenue. Win concert tickets, meet special guests, and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify the voice of the Black community. Show your support and join or renew your WURD membership on site. That's the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour at West Oak Lane Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Friday, August 20th. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WURD. And on the other side, we're going to talk with Kenneth Dean. He is Man Up PHL's social media director, and he's going to join us to talk about what he's seen over the 2 years that he has been with Man Up PHL and why today's call out on gun violence is so critically important. Make sure to join us today at 6 p.m. at City Hall in the City Hall courtyard as we call out our community on gun violence. Kenneth Dean is on the other side to talk about it. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Philadelphia Families, PHL Pre-K, the city's free quality pre-K program, is growing and now enrolling. Over 160 pre-K centers are ready to serve children this year. There are no income limits for this free pre-K program. Children who are 3 or 4 years old as of September 1 can enroll. Call 844-PHL-PRE-K or visit phlprek.org to learn more and find a quality pre-K center. That's 844-745-7735. This program is made possible by the Philadelphia Beverage Tax.
Research from Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta assessed that 1,700 patients were treated for gunshot wounds over a 7-year period. The common denominator, food insecurity and gun violence. Food insecurity and gun violence share many of the same risk factors, such as poverty, racism, and poor education. Finding the root cause brings us closer to the solutions to these community crises. Teams from Georgia look to partner with Philadelphia organizations to solve the food insecurity factor of gun violence. Research suggests that offering fresh food pantry options in these areas is one method of prevention. To address food insecurity in Black communities, Feeding America is working with national organizations such as the National Urban League and the NAACP to meet the need in local communities and address the root causes of these persistent inequalities. Visit feedingamerica.org for more information. This Impact of Violence vignette is brought to you by Einstein Medical Center Philadelphia, addressing gun violence violence as a public health crisis at Einstein Medical Center, Philadelphia. They have assembled a multidisciplinary gun violence task force to advocate for the needed resources for victims and their families.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I'm going to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. Joining us now is Kenneth Dean. He is Man Up PHL's social media director, and he has been with us pretty much from the beginning of the founding of this organization 2 years ago. And, of course, today we have a key event, a call out to our community on the issue of gun violence. Ken, good morning.
Yeah, what's up, Solomon?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling. Everything's cool.
Okay. So we started this thing, man, 2 years ago. We did a call out to the community at community college, an overwhelming response from our community then, and we started our organization at that time, man. What have you seen in terms of the growth of the organization between then and now?
Wow, the growth. Wow. So yeah, I've been here since what was it, September 2019? I think it was September 2019. And
it's November.
Honestly, November. Okay, yeah, okay. November 2019. And the growth, honestly, I would say just like our impact with our mentees mainly. Our impact with our mentees, how people talk about us on the street. Our staff, all volunteers, we all like super hands on. We do probably about 6 or 7 jobs a piece.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. Everybody's excited. It's no down. Nobody's complaining about anything, and I would say the growth is just our staff, yo. Everybody's willing to do everything to make sure we out there in the streets in this organization is successful. So yeah,
yeah, we've seen a lot, man. You know, I know I have traveled around, and many of us have. We've had sisters, man, travel around. We were given during the pandemic, we were giving gift cards and masks and other materials to our mentees to make sure that they were all right. We had food delivered to some of them to make sure that they could make it through this thing when we couldn't, meet in person. And, I think one of the things that surprised me initially, but now I'm really grateful for, is that when we called out to men, because initially our first call out was to men, to come together to work on this issue of gun violence, sisters showed up, and now they are a key part of what we do in this organization. Ken, speak to that a little bit, man.
Oh man, like two most for me is Pam and Cheryl.
Yep.
Man, listen, Cheryl will send you text messages, emails all night long to make sure that to make sure that everybody's in position and on point, especially about today. I don't know. I can't even tell you how many emails Cheryl and text messages Cheryl sent about making sure, we got the tablecloth, make sure this person is manning the table, Ken make sure he has the material he needs, talking points. Cheryl's on point. Pam is on point as well. But, you got to love the women in our organization, man. They really, really hold it down. And it really wouldn't be a Man Up without the women. It's like even ones that is no longer with us, like Jasmine. Our volunteer coordinator, like, yo, the women held us down from day one. So yeah, you gotta love the women that stepped up and said, yo, we got this too. We got y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what that showed me is that there is a role for everyone, right? That there is a role for sisters who want to help. There is a role for brothers who want to help. There is a role for everyone, man, and we all have different skill sets, and when we bring those things together, it's beautiful. And so we look forward to meeting even more brothers, even more sisters, man, who want to come in and who want to help. I remember us going down to, because we went everywhere, man, trying to get mentees, trying to get brothers that like, nah, we really just want to help you. We went down to Saudi Shula's place, down on 22nd Street in North Philly. You remember that?
Yeah. It was a little hiccup, but Saw was definitely down. She wanted to get the message out, and to be honest, I mean, Saw posted our job thing, and I think from that one post, we got so much social traffic. Inboxes were flooded. Everybody wanted a job. It was ridiculous. Yeah, Saw held us down as well, man. So we can't, I still need a platter from her though. She promised us a platter.
I know, right?
Yeah, I gotta track it down. I gotta make sure I get my turkey wing platter.
I know that's right. We might have to roll back through 22nd Street, go down north and get our platters.
No, she's at I think the Fresh Grocer on City Line now.
Yeah. I saw her when she was up there. We did an event up there with WURD, and I saw her there. So we'll roll through there too. But I mean, we've been all over the city, man. We've been in South Philly. We've been in West Philly. We've been in of course, the Cheltenham, and we've been in North Philly, and we've gotten young brothers jobs, man. I asked for a recommendation letter from a parent of one of the young brothers that we helped. And I see him because I'm constantly, going through where he works. And, man, every time I see him, man, I just light up because I remember, his mom calling me like, look, please help my son. And, we brought him through the Listening to the Streets program. And, he continues to work, is doing well, has gotten through, most of the trouble that he was in. And so, I mean, it's just that's the reward, man. I think the reward is seeing the lives change. Now, you've been there, of course, as we founded Listening to the Streets a few months ago, started bringing brothers in. You've been at some of those sessions. What have you seen and what have you learned as we brought in mentees for the Listening to the Streets program, where we listen to them on gun violence, pay them a stipend, and then help them to get jobs? What have you seen there?
Okay, so the two things that always stuck out from each session I've been to was the one is listen to the guys talk about they don't really have anybody out there in the streets to direct them. Like they always brought up, we don't have old heads. We don't have the guys that, pull us to the side and say, yo, you don't need to be out here doing this or doing that. We don't have those types of guys. The old heads that we have out on the street these days, like, took advantage of us. And now, we pretty much at war with the guys that y'all consider our old heads that should be directing us and telling us what's right or wrong. That's one thing that stuck out. Another thing that also stuck out is, like you said, the parents, the moms. I get so many messages from moms like, hey, listen, I saw the program. This is something I know my son would benefit from. Please take his information. Let me know what I need to do. So I get so many messages from moms about getting their kids and listening to the streets. And another thing, talking to the guys from Listening to the Streets, and I gotta limit how many Listening to the Streets sessions I go to, because every time I go there, I give out my personal number, because like you get so connected to the guys, you want to just make sure that they're okay at all times. And like I enjoy it, but another thing, it's just the guys having conversations like, yo, so y'all really gonna give us $240 to come here and sit? And that's day one. By day three, it's like, yo, I don't even need this $240. What I really need is what y'all giving me, this mentorship. Y'all just sitting and listening. Everybody, y'all could be doing this, y'all could be doing it, and y'all not getting paid to be here with us. I don't even need this money. I just want to be here. And everybody that pretty much graduated the class or finished the cohort, like, yo, can I stick around? Can I work a little bit? Do you need me to show up at this class? Can I be like a peer specialist? Like, I know exactly what these kids need. I'm going through it. It's just, I really enjoy listening to the streets and the impact it's having on these young dudes. I just got finished talking to Ant and Josh the other day, just checking on those two guys. But yeah, I love it, man, and you can really see change in those dudes and how they really want to help their community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So next time you talk to Ant too, ask him about the job that we tried to hook him up with, because I texted Ant and I haven't heard back from him. So make sure you get an update on that. We need to know.
You know how I get him? I get him through his mom.
Okay, see.
Straight to his mom. Say, here goes his number. He's going to pick up right now. Call him.
Okay. So, but that's how it is, man. I mean, you get connected, man. And what I've seen just a number of things, man. Through listening to the streets, man. And if that's something you want to be involved in, like, bringing these brothers in, man, sitting them down and just talking to them, listening to them, hearing from them. We encourage you to do that. Join us today at City Hall. We're going to be there at 6 p.m. In the courtyard, man, signing up volunteers because we need your help. But what I noticed is that once we all come in, and I mean, we got, all kind of brothers, man. Our youngest has been 17. Our oldest has been 34. But we bring them in, and I'm talking about cats that they on the street, they rough. I've seen tears. You know what I mean? I have seen just really frank conversations. I've heard about the hurts that we go through, man. And it's something about bringing brothers together. The connection is almost immediate. At first, everybody kind of looking around, but then there's this connection that happens, man, that you just can't fake. And it is real, and so I think that's the thing that encourages me, Ken, the connection that happens between these brothers.
Yeah, man, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen one of our mentees cry, and just like, and not from being sad, just being excited that just we're there just to listen, and we don't want nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? We're not taking advantage of them. We're not trying to get them to sign no petition. We just like genuinely there to hear you out and help in any way possible. And we paying you. And that's the part they can't really believe. It's like, yo, y'all offering so much and y'all paying us? And the food be cool? Man.
That's right, because they eat every night that they're there too.
Man, man, it's just, man. I wish it was something like this around when I was young and running around or whatever, man. I couldn't even imagine how this would set me on the right path way earlier. So yeah, man, it's dope.
Yeah, no doubt. We're talking with Kenneth Dean. He's the social media director for Man Up PHL. We, of course, are doing a call out today at 6 p.m. on gun violence in our community at City Hall. We'll be in the courtyard. We want you to join us. We ain't going to be long. It ain't going to be a whole lot. No, this is about work. This is about coming and getting you to volunteer, man, and give of yourself so that we can begin to change the lives of these young men that we are dealing with. And, it is a beautiful thing to see and to be involved in. I can't even explain how this thing works. I just know that it does. And so we're going to be there, of course, today at 6 o'clock. So, Ken, you've been here from the beginning, man. What do you hope to see us do going forward? I know that's a big question.
Yeah. Well, because honestly, I see we pretty much, I feel like we're going in the right direction right now. I think a good transition is offering some of our mentees actually like peer specialist training and like getting those people, our former mentees out in the street doing some community outreach and you know what I'm saying, and turning those mentees into like our elected officials, because like they say all the time, man, they always say, yo, Solomon, you gonna be the mayor? You gonna be a city councilman? How come we can't vote you in or something like that, man? Like, we want people that actually been through some stuff, because they always get shocked by your story. Like, anytime you tell your story, like, yo, I'm the Solomon I was, not the man that I, like, yo, they get shocked by that. And I think it's important to get some of our, like, to push some of our mentees in a direction where they could aspire to be one of our elected officials and write some policy and like create some changes out there in the neighborhoods that they're from. Because, yeah, I mean, that's what I would hope. Like, we can transition into, like, yo, giving them the type of training that they need to be exactly what they need to be in their communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Jay. Josh, we are working diligently to get the space that we need in order to bring him in. He's going to be there with our next cohort. That's one of the things we're going to do with him. But we are looking to get the space that we need to be able to bring him in as just that person that you're talking about, man. So I just talked to him the other day. I just, just hold on, Jay. We there, man. But we are absolutely looking to do that with him and so many others, because it's important. And I tell them, when we bring them in, look, this is not just about us mentoring you. This is about us preparing you to mentor the next one. This is about us preparing you to step into this role. Like, that's really what it's about, man. We're trying to create a movement. This is not, just for you to come in and, we got chicken on Tuesday. We appreciate the chicken. Shout out to ShopRite. You know what I mean?
Right, for those platters, man. Shout out
for those platters every night. And for the space, to do the Listening to the Streets program. But, this is about so much more than that. This is really about preparing them to go out and give to others what they've gotten from us.
Right, man.
So.
Yeah, I love that guy, man. I love Josh, man. He called me Sunday and was just talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, go ahead, bro. It's all good, man. Just do what you gotta do. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. So, shout out to all of them, man. All of the young brothers who've come through. The grandmothers who've brought them to us. Tony's grandmom. I met both of his grandmoms. I came to see him. He was like, "Nah, sit down, meet my grandma." You know what I mean? So, but this is, we build these relationships with these young men. Just talked to Donnell yesterday. So, like, this is what we are doing at Man Up PHL. We are building the kind of relationships, man, that lead to long-lasting change. We're not saying it's the answer to everything, because it's not, but it is an answer, and it's something that you can be involved in. So we need you to come 6 o'clock this evening and meet us. We're going to be at City Hall, in the City Hall courtyard, at 6 o'clock this evening. We want you to come and be a part of this movement. Ken, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for all that you've done from the very beginning, brother. You have been here through a whole lot of stuff, man, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem, sir. I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we are going to talk to you. 215-634-8065. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Jefferson Health offers no-cost COVID-19 testing sites at St. Raymond of Pinafort Church. Testing is on Thursdays and Saturdays. The second testing location has been added at Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School. Testing is on Wednesdays and Fridays. For testing hours and more information, visit jeffersonhealth.org/community testing. Oak Street Health Strawberry Mansion is hosting a Seniors Day Carnival at 2301 North 29th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19132 on Saturday, August 21st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy music, games, food, and prizes as we celebrate our teams and the reopening of our Centers for Community Activities and Events. Oak Street Health is a network of primary care doctors for adults on Medicare, and we welcome all community members to join in on the fun and check out our center. Food and prizes limited to $15 per person.
Babe, have you called the heat and air guys yet? Your wife tells you not yet. You ask her, what are you waiting for, babe? There's a shortage in the industry of heating and cooling equipment. If we wait too long, there may not be none left. Plus, the winter time is coming. She said, babe, the only reason I didn't call is because we ain't have no money. You said heat and air guys, you don't need no money. They have zero interest with zero payment for 18 months. She said, I'm calling them now. What's the number? 610-583-3207. It's the heatandairguys.com.
WURD Founders Day. Don't Don't miss our annual Founders Day live broadcast and celebration, Thursday, August 26th, honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, featuring a very special broadcast of a ceremonial street naming for Dr. Lomax from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center.
Hosted by Charles Ellison.
The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. Start or renew your WURD membership on Founders Day at the special discounted rate of just $80. For more information about WURD Founders Day, visit WURDradio.com. WURD Radio Founders Day is brought to you by Pico, Keystone First, Bank of America, Ready Set Philly, Comcast, Brown's Family Shop Ride, Temple University, and Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, 2nd District.
This is not a fad for us.
We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are
Undeniably,
indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media.
WURD.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM,
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. I'm going to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. We're, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're talking about a number of things today, including the long-awaited R. Kelly sex abuse trial that began with the story of Jerronda Pace, who told the court that when she first met the singer, she was 16 and excited to be in the presence of someone she idolized. But over the next 6 months, Kelly had sex with her while she was underage and physically and emotionally abused her. That is her allegation. Story number 2, the mess in Afghanistan continues with the Taliban stopping some people from going to the airport to leave. Joe Biden sending more troops to get Americans out, and security experts asking one abiding question about the nation that America fought in for 20 years. Who gets the minerals? And of course, today at 6 p.m., we are going to be doing a call out on gun violence in our community. And so we look forward to seeing you there. We'll be at City Hall in the City Hall courtyard at 6 p.m. today, bringing volunteers. We need volunteers to help us with the program that we are building. And the mentees that we are helping. It is a phenomenal thing to just watch it just grow and see the people who are so committed to doing what we do. I do want to remind you of this. The world is inching back to normalcy, but our approach to educating our children may never be the same. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, has nearly 20 years of experience providing a flexible, stable online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Here are the benefits to your children and your family. 1, world-class education and accredited lesson plans streamed directly into your home at no cost to you. 2, laptops, headphones, and high-speed internet access, all provided at no cost to you. 3, a learning environment completely free from classroom risks like bullying and other distractions. CCA has been in our community long before this health crisis and will continue to faithfully serve students and families well into the future. Join the more than 2,500 students from Philly who already attend CCA. Enroll now at ccaeducate.me. So we're taking your calls at 215-634-8065. Tom from South Philly is on line 1. Go ahead, Tom.
Good morning. news, and I thought about you, about the cop shooting and stuff. I seen on the news yesterday, a guy shot a captain, I think it was, and he stood up. He brought him out. He wasn't beat up. He had no black eye. Nothing. I'm like, well, how could this be? With a shotgun yesterday, he hit him with a noose there, and I'm like, they kill people with some loosies and everything, choke them to death with their knees. This guy shot a captain, I think it was.
In Philadelphia?
I'm like,
in Philadelphia? Or someplace else?
I'm like, they never left that building. I go like, well, how could that be? I thought about how you say he killed us for little things, traffic stops and all that. And there's a man that shot a man with a captain on police force.
Tom, did this happen in Philadelphia or someplace else?
I don't know where that's Jersey, I think it was. I don't. I'm just saying how he brought him out after he even did that. I'm like, and he wasn't beat up or nothing. No black eye, no blood on him, nothing.
Okay.
But he was white.
He was white. Okay. All right. I hear you, man. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. So, yeah, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Kwesa, did you hear about that story?
No.
Okay.
In New Jersey?
Not New Jersey. I don't think it happened in New Jersey. I think he has that wrong. But apparently this happened someplace else. I'm going to try to look it up and see. But I think that this happened someplace else. It wasn't Philadelphia. It wasn't New Jersey. But it was someplace else. Anyway, 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. That's 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And, of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at onWURD, at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. And let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. FORWURD is how you can weigh in on Facebook. Well, let's go to Facebook and hear what people are saying there. Kwesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook? Okay, so I think she's dealing with a caller. So we're talking about a number of things this morning, and among them, Afghanistan. Turns out Afghanistan has about $1 trillion worth of minerals on their land, and various countries now going in trying to figure out how to get that out. China, Pakistan, India, trying to find ways to work with, I'm assuming, the Taliban to get that stuff out. We'll see at what happens there. And, of course, the R. Kelly sex abuse trial, that is going on. Bombshell testimony yesterday from one of his alleged victims. And, of course, today at 6 p.m., we are going to be coming together at City Hall to call out volunteers on gun violence. We need you to come and stand alongside us as we work with young men to steer them away from gun violence and give them some alternatives to the streets. I want to hear from you. Give us a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. Let's go to Patrick from New Jersey on line 2. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hey, Solomon. How you been, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay, man. I just got just recovering. You know, had a 10-hour surgery.
Oh, wow.
They did what's called a colon resectioning. And they took out a 10-inch tumor from my colon, a cancerous tumor.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, man. So
wow.
This whole time I thought I had diverticulitis. I did not. I had a cancerous tumor in my stomach. So, but thank God. I mean, I got prayers from coming all around the world.
Yeah,
and, I am cancer-free right now.
Okay.
Somehow a 10-inch tumor that lived in my body for probably at least a half a decade did not metastasize.
Wow. Well, praise God for that.
I will be, the guy said I will be in medical journals because it should have at least went to my lymph nodes, they said. So somehow it didn't, but praise God. And I just wanted to thank anybody out there that said any prayers or good thoughts. And I want to remind anybody out there that's hesitant to do this to go get your colonoscopy. It just saved my life.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, Patrick, that is great, man, and congratulations on that. And we'll continue to pray for continued healing for you, man.
Yeah, man. And I just again want to reemphasize the colonoscopy was one of the easiest procedures I went through in my life. The what do you call it? Getting the IV was the hardest part.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about it, you know what I mean? You know, and I tried to talk to some of my friends who were like, "Oh, that's you know some gay stuff." I said, "Listen, then find a female doctor if that's the way you feel, because your life is not worth your prejudice."
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I just got mine a few months ago too, and you are absolutely right. So, Patrick, congratulations on that. I'm glad that you're doing well, man. We pray for continued good health for you. So thank you. We appreciate that. And get your absolutely get your colonoscopy, man. And of course, WURD has the Go to Know campaign. You can check that out on WURD Radio as well, WURDradio.com as well. So we do have a couple of minutes left, and we will, of course, take your comments on Facebook at ForWord, at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. So what are they saying this morning, Kawesa, on Facebook?
So a few more comments that we have here. Let's jump in here. Phyllis Williams says, thank you, caller, for sharing your story. Hope you continue to do well, Patrick. God bless you. And then we also have here Kenneth Dean is commenting in the chat here. He says, Cheryl's going to kill me because I didn't mention our jazz brunch. Help a brother out. So that's what he's saying there. And then we also have Lucy Luson saying, good morning, everyone. She says it happened in Yardley. So we had a couple of folks giving us a call to mention, Bucks County, that area over there. So thank you so much for letting us know. Yeah, Linnea Porter says the incident the man is referring to happened in Bucks County last night. Then we also have here Gail Robinson says, Rita is a whole piece of work. She is her own universe and sees things that happen to her there. She better take and sell these stories. You are invited to spend the night into Rita's universe. So that's her comment that she has there. Then we also have, I'm just trying to scroll here. Gail also says, thank you, Jay, for all that great info and what we should be doing and are willing to do to get things done. And then lastly, we have here Lucy Luson is saying prayers for Patrick. So definitely, it's just, I'm just extremely, elated that he's doing well. It's so great to hear from him. And just like, what Solomon said, make sure that, you're getting your colonoscopy. Check us out at wordradio.com. We have a banner that's sliding across the top of the website. You can click on it and you can, get your kit and it's really easy to figure out, whether or not, you might have colon cancer, things like that. So just go ahead and do that and make sure that you're taking care of your health, because it's never too early to check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in on today's show. I want to thank all of our guests. I want to thank all of our callers as well. Y'all are all very interesting, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We want to remind you to join us this evening at 6 p.m. at City Hall. We'll be in the courtyard for Man Up PHL's call out on gun violence. We need you to come and bring your skills and volunteer to change lives and stop gun violence in this city. I want to thank our guest, Kenneth Dean, who is our social media director at Man Up PHL, Kier Bradford Gray, a partner at Montgomery, McCracken, Walker, and Rhodes, and of course, political commentator Jay McCalla, and now for super producer Kawesa Mathis and everyone here at WURD Radio. I'm your host, Solomon Jones, saying stay tuned for Reality Check with Charles Ellison, and tune in tomorrow at 7 for more Wake Up with WURD. Peace.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco